6:04, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, JP producing, getting you ready for Thursday's show. We're starting off at 71 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Now, doesn't it feel a little bit cooler than that? One of those days where you open up the door and it doesn't punch you in the chest? Gotta love it. We got a busy day for you today. We got Haggai coming up in a little bit. Haggai Davison for Cup of Tech Gumbo. I'll give you the full rundown a little bit later on, but just a heads up for the 8 o'clock hour. Mike Strain's in the house. Go ahead and start things off. You know how we do. Top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Economic development and improved public safety. That's what Metro Councilman Darrell Hurst has in mind for his Revive Plank Road plan. Things are in the early stages now, but this will start with the creation of the Delmont Economic Development District. Well, that's a terrible acronym. That's dead. We got to work on that, Darrell. Let's go start off with the Delmont Economic Development District, running up Plank from Evangeline to Airline.
Number 4.
One person is dead after a shooting on Tennessee Street, police officials said. They were called to the scene around 4:37 p.m. BRPD said that according to witnesses on the scene, someone was driving by, started shooting. BRPD is currently investigating.
Number 3.
Remember Anthony Tomplay, the Baton Rouge teen who was the subject of the Netflix documentary, I Just Killed My Dad? Well, he's back in jail up at Pointe-Coupee Parish on drug charges after being caught with more than a pound of weed.
Number 2.
The Lafourche Parish District Attorney's report on the investigation of a fatal crash involving LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey and said the investigation contained, quote, several inconsistencies. So much so that the district attorney's report concluded the evidence submitted does not support LSP's report that Lacey caused the crash, nor that he should have known that he caused the crash.
Number 1.
Jerry's still floating around out there, y'all. Expected to become a hurricane later on today. This is Tropical Storm Jerry with maximum sustained winds now up to 65 miles per hour. Jerry's not going to be a problem for anybody. Jerry will stay out in the Atlantic, and I just let you know about it because it's out there and it is the named storm. There are, however, 2 other disturbances showing a very minor possibility of becoming something. Well, you know what? Let's cross one of those off because it's reaching landfall in Mexico right now. The other disturbance is actually in the northern Atlantic, so that one won't be a problem either.
All right, well, St. Tammany Parish Councilwoman Kathy Seiden announced that she will challenge Senator Bill Cassidy for his U.S. Senate seat next year.
Okay, so she made that announcement yesterday. Remember how on Tuesday we had that guest we were supposed to have, and then something happened?
Yes.
That was her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's going to be on tomorrow morning, 7:15. We get the first bite at the apple here. First long-form bite at the apple. I believe Louisiana Radio Network's already talked to her a little bit. But Kathy Seiden tomorrow morning, 7:15.
Looking forward to that.
Yep.
In other news, the body of fallen Iberville Parish Sheriff Deputy Charles W. Riley was escorted from Broussard to a funeral home in Gonzales on Wednesday, and Baton Rouge showed up to line streets during the procession.
Yeah, they had a number of folks out yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to Rotary Club, taking 10 east from here over to Drusilla Lane.
Right.
And as you know, what's the overpass on 10 that's in between College and Acadian, the Valley Park overpass?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they had 2 fire engines just like parked on the overpass with a bunch of
they
firefighters just sitting there. They were just sitting there looking over the side, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? Yeah. Well, that makes sense now.
It
that
does.
makes total sense.
That's
now.
true. I to be honest, I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, that's true. They were just
just hanging out.
Just looking
and
down.
I'm like, why? I mean, that's first of all, very unfireman-like.
Right.
Just hanging out. Right. But secondly, just like looking over the side on the interstate, and I'm like, we are not a spectator sport.
Right.
But turns out they're there for good purpose.
That's right. That's right. Well, Brian, the brain rot term 6'7" has officially hit Newsweek.
You saw the story. Did you see the story?
I mean,
so
some of
Newsweek does their level best to explain what all of us parents are going through on a minute by minute basis.
Yeah.
There is not a time where I don't think there's been a greater time in history where you could figure out who is a parent of a teen than right now. It's true. Even when you're not around your kids, you're doing it all the time. You're recognizing it all the time.
Yes.
For example, a perfect example, first football game of the season, Trey'Dez Green catches a pass. Okay, he's an incredibly tall tight end. How tall is he?
6'7".
It's everywhere, and it means nothing.
Oh, didn't this start? So it started with a rap song, right?
Rap song turned into meme. Meme turned into world craze. And Newsweek does their level best to try to explain it, but it's like the way Newsweek writes the article, it has me saying, "Okay, boomer."
Was it the 6'7"?
6'7"? It's got to go. Now that it's in Newsweek, I hope it can go away. We're at 6:11 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Due up for our first break. We got sports when we come back. Actually, before we take that break, let me remind you about the folks over at Vex European. You can check them out online at vexeuropean.com. I would normally say you can go swing by on Benefit Drive to see them in person, but they're not there right now. They closed up shop for the whole week. Heading to, I believe they're in South Carolina. Basically what they're up to, getting more training. If you drive a European vehicle, you know that your vehicle is a little bit special. It's a little bit different. You know, whether you talk about the German engineering of a Mercedes-Benz or you've got a Land Rover, you've got a Jaguar, whatever your vehicle might be, you know it's built a little bit different. And you want to take care of it. And you want people who excel in that specialization. I like to call it Vexpertise, and that's what they're boning up on right now. So Vinny closed up the whole shop for a week. I don't know another mechanic that does that. Closes up the shop for a whole week to make sure they're ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. They know the latest technology, the latest techniques, everything you need to know about your car. So if you hop on Vex European right now, hit the little appointments tab, set things up. Starting Monday, they open up shop back again, and they will be ready to take care of you at Vex European. Do I look okay? That's not bad. See, I don't know if we can unyellow that because did I look blue in the other one?
I don't know. Is it too yellow? Oh heavens, there's me. Oh, that's still live, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think it's too yellow?
What does it look like with the whiter version? And we're gonna find out real quick because Haggai's gonna be in the house, and you can't get whiter than me and Haggai. Not yet.
And then when Haggai comes in, what time does Haggai come in?
6:35 is when the segment starts. He's usually in by 6:20.
It looks different over here than.
Oh, very quickly, the Brian Kelly cuts. Number one is opening statement, and then reviewing the what's the Beamer cut. Okay. It's possible. It's yeah. I look good. I like where it's at right now on the phone. Like I don't. Yeah. Well, you know the tag guy's coming. Yeah. Oh, he was a huge play in this. I know. Talk 1073 is your new home for Ken Trahan's original Prep Football Report. Get live in-game updates, a full statewide scoreboard, and check-ins with correspondents from every corner of the state. Friday nights this fall from 6 to 11 p.m. It's Ken Trahan's original Prep Football Report, presented locally by Dr. Pepper and the Harold Perkins Jr. Tuition Program right here on Talk 1073 FM. It's 6:15 to Talk 1073 FM, and it is time for sports. And, Wednesdays is SEC Coaches Teleconference time. Brian Kelly was part of that teleconference as LSU will be squaring off against South Carolina this weekend. Here's how the coach opened things up.
We're coming off an open week where we had some recovery for our team, opportunity to do some self-scouting, certainly work on the technical and tactical pieces of the game for us, do some recruiting. That's generally what happens in most off weeks. And then began to focus squarely on our preparation for, really good South Carolina team, well coached in the special teams, a defense that continues to have that physicality of an SEC team. And then, Lenore Sellers on offense is a game wrecker. So preparing this week to play at home, always an exciting time for our players, and looking forward to an SEC challenge again this weekend.
With a week in a bye week in the rear view to kind of self-evaluate a little bit, the coach was asked how he would grade his team out through 5 games.
Our performances have been uneven. We've had some really good stretches. I think that this football team has got their best football in front of them. So I think the biggest concern was how we would come together and do the things necessary to be an outstanding football team. I'm feeling really good about that. Now it's about performing at a more consistent level, both on offense and defense.
Kickoff Saturday night will be 6:55 on our sister station, Eagle 98.1 network. Pregame starts 2 hours prior to that. Of course, Eagle 98.1's game day starts 5 hours prior to kickoff, right down the hall on Eagle 98.1. Speaking of 5 hours before kickoff, if you rewind the clock from 6:55 back to 2 p.m. on Saturday, that's when Southern's going to be kicking off. They are at Bethune-Cookman. The Jaguars, rough start to the season, 1-4 so far. They are 0-1 in conference play. Now, Bethune-Cookman is 1-1 in conference play, 2-4 on the season. So, even though they're on the road, decent spot here for the Jaguars to pick up their first conference win of the season. Meanwhile, over in the NFL, your NFL week starts tonight with the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. Giants, of course, coming off that loss to New Orleans. The Eagles moving into the short week as well, both moving in the short week and on the road. But they're going from Philly to New York, or New Jersey. So it's not like it's all that big of a trip. But as is the case all season long, Thursday Night Football and Monday Night Football are right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Coverage courtesy of Westwood One. By the way, if we can look ahead real quick to that Monday night matchup, who do we have this week? Oh, it's another doubleheader on Monday, so we're going to have to figure out which game we're getting here. You've got on Monday what will be the Bills at the Falcons and the Bears. This is a no-brainer. We got to do Bears and Commanders. I mean, I don't know if we get a choice, but I'm choosing Jaden Daniels all day long. Bears and Commanders will round out your NFL week on Monday night. That's if Jaden's back. We'll round out your NFL week on Monday night. We start your NFL week right here tonight. 7 p.m. is when we will join the coverage. And don't forget, while we're teeing up the weekend, the Saints are at home one more time, coming off the win against New York. They will now host New England. Drake May and the New England Patriots roll into the Dome to take on the now 1-4 Saints on Sunday. So we've got your that will be on Eagle 98.1. It's just there's so much football. If I'm not mistaken, I was told yesterday was the first day of 49 straight days of football being played. Like for the next 49 days, you will have a football game every single day. And we've got so much of it right here. We're such an overload when it comes to football. For example, like we said, Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football right here on Talk 107.3 FM. On Friday night, you get Ken Trahan's original. Meanwhile, over on 104.5, our sister station, our ESPN affiliate, they have got Catholic High football on Friday night. And then on Sunday, it's a triple header. I don't know which games we're teasing yet, but Sunday will be a triple header of NFL football. And then, of course, Saturday on Eagle 98.1 is LSU. Sunday on Eagle 98.1 is the Saints. I can't get enough. I'm like a radio guy, though. I like play-by-play on the radio. That's just kind of my jam. All right, we're coming up on 620 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Speaking of a great slate of football for the weekend, we've got a great slate when it comes to weather as well. We'll talk about that a little bit next. We'll talk about Kathy Seiden hopping in the race for Senate. Those are coming up next. Also this hour, Haggai Davis could be for a cup of tech gumbo. That's about 15 minutes from right now. Right now, we've got the Fox Business Report. Stuart Voney. Good morning, Christy. Check your text, please. What, the light? It's so non-invasive, like the way it first was, it's like, but this level, it's softer. It's a lot softer. So, yeah, we're in a good spot. That was top-notch engineering, Michelle. Top-notch. Morning, Haggai. Here we go. She changed a battery and a remote. That's. As long as it's fixed, I'll take it. So here's what we're going to do for the screen here. It'll be 180 pros every other one. So it's 50% of the time 180 pros, 50% of the time everything else. Because, I mean, we've offered that up to everybody. It's added value, but it's already been promised out. So it'll go like Vex 180, my logo 180, NeuroJust 180, Breck 1, so just rotate it off like that. So that it will be a heavy, heavy presence, to be sure. You what? We cannot. That is a completely separate sold thing. All of our digital belongs to Lake Urchin Care. The Facebook feed, the YouTube feed, and all of our on-demand content. So, yeah, separate package. The border around. Oh, that's me. So, yeah, it is slow going on I-10 westbound coming all the way through town. Your backups, well, I shouldn't say all the way through town. Your backups are on 10 west through the heart of things after the merge, right after the merge. Before you even get to College Drive, it slows down. Comes to a crawl by around Acadian Thruway and continues that way all the way till you get to the 10-110 split. Meanwhile, if you back things up even further, coming in from Denham Springs, really not that bad back by Denham Springs. Really not that bad coming across the Amite River. The slowdowns don't really start until you get past the merge onto 10. 10 westbound backing it up to Ascension Parish. We look good coming into town. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge Parish. I can tell you there are some minor delays as you're getting on the interstate from, is it 415? Yeah. If you're hopping on at 415, you're going to find some minor delays right there before it picks back up towards the bridge. I-110 is looking good as well. Surface streets, 2 accidents to report right now, both looking like they're up around Central Way. We've got the sheriff's office working an accident, Mickens at Silverleaf, and then there's also a crash in the roadway from about 12 minutes ago, Hooper Road at Duval Road. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Rolling over 625 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Give you the rundown real quick overall for the show. We got Haggai coming up 10 minutes from now with a cup of tech gumbo. I can tell you that in the 7 o'clock hour, Lawsuit Abuse Awareness Week rolls on. Lana Vanable is with Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. She's going to join us at 7:15 to chat there. 7:35, Crimestoppers coming your way. Lieutenant Don Capola going to be in. See if we can't catch some bad guys. Also want to kind of recap last Thursday's Crimestoppers awards luncheon, or law enforcement awards luncheon, which is just always such a phenomenal event, and this year was no exception. 8 o'clock, 7:55, Brenden Craig running for city court judge. He's going to hop on the hotline for a quick 5 minutes. Then in the 8 o'clock hour, one guest only. That's our Ag Commissioner, Dr. Mike Strain. If you know, you know. You'll want to be here for the whole dadgum thing. If you don't know, tune back in at 8:15 and make sure you're here for it, because Dr. Strain is always informative, always entertaining, and as he likes to say, we get into the appropriate amount of trouble. Right now at 6:25 at Talk 107.3 FM, a couple of different topics to hit on real quick. First of all, just from a news perspective, and shout out to our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network for the audio here. Kathy Seiden got in the race for, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, for Senate. Add her name to the list of challengers. Senator Cassidy is obviously the incumbent there, but you got Blake Miguez, you got John Fleming, you've got Kathy Seiden now. She has, to say the least, an uphill battle in front of her.
This is going to cost a lot of money to have a successful campaign, particularly for someone who's not very well known. And as she notes in her announcement, she's a tyro when it comes to politics. She's not been around very long.
So she comes from the St. Tammany Parish Council. She's a St. Tammany Parish councilwoman. Born, I believe, in Hammond, raised in Bruley. She lives in the Mandeville, Covington area. She's West St. Tammany, so at least she's from the right side of the parish. Growing your name on this level is difficult. And we've talked about this before. If you're Blake Miguez, growing your name statewide is difficult. And Blake Miguez has been a state representative and is now a state senator. He's had plenty of opportunity for headlines. Those of us who follow state politics know who Blake Miguez is, but he's got an uphill battle there. John Fleming, we all know what difficulties he has. And then Senator Cassidy, he's the incumbent, which means everyone's gunning for him. So if you're Kathy Seiden, what's the game plan here? How are you looking to make inroads? Are you late to the ball game?
Typically, if you're unknown and you want to establish a name, you want to get in pretty early and start going around the state and meeting people and raising money and doing all kinds of things.
That's ULM political science professor Pearson Cross talking with our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network. Although, it might feel like it's late because of the closed primaries. And remember, we have closed primaries now, so this vote is going to be in spring, not in the fall. But it might feel like it's late, but we have a stretch coming up here. You've still got a good 6 months. I mean, half a year to tour the state. That is not a short window, to be sure. Cross says that with a Republican candidate field that includes Fleming, Blake Miguez. Oh, and I almost forgot Eric Skermetta's in this race. Could possibly get in this race as well. If you're looking at not just those who are in, but those who could still be in, it's getting pretty crowded because Eric Skermetta's a possibility. We've toyed with the idea of, or we've toyed with the topic of Julia Letlow getting in the race. We've even asked her about it before and got an absolutely nothing of an answer. Julie Emerson is another name that keeps coming up, although Julie Emerson would face the exact same problems that Blake Miguez faces. Cross says Seiden's strategy has got to be to clinch second place in the April primary.
It appears clear that Cassidy will not get 50% and so will be forced into a runoff. But who is going to join him in that runoff is very much up in the air.
I'm curious to see how it plays out because I don't think she's that long of a long shot or as long of a long shot as most would believe. For the very same reason that Julia Letlow has been contemplating getting in this race. She is, first of all, a woman, a mom, a different perspective. If you look at who's in the race right now, you have three dudes wanting to be the closest to Donald Trump possible. That's between Bill Cassidy. If you watch any of his commercials, he'll talk about how he signed Trump's bill this, teamed up with Trump on that. If you listen to Blake Miguez, he repeats the word MAGA a lot. John Fleming will continually tell you about how he was on Trump's cabinet or as a deputy chief of staff in the first term. So you've got three guys competing for one role. And Kathy Seiden has this opportunity to move into this whole other space that will involve people who live their daily lives as opposed to being completely dialed in on Washington politics. There very well could be a wide open lane for her to get in and accelerate. We'll talk to her 7:15 tomorrow morning. I wanted to dig in on this next story as well, but we're going to have to wait because I'm keeping an eye on the clock, or more to the point, JP's helping me keep an eye on the clock. So we're going to go ahead and break it here. We'll have news, start off with ABC, the latest on the agreement, the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. We'll hit our local news, traffic, weather. Haggai Davis is in for a cup of tech gumbo. That is next, right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Okay. You want to start the following Monday? Okay. All right. Yeah, our voice guy's out right now. I was just going to voice the tags that go until he gets back. But if we start next Thursday, he might be back. As am I. But there seems to be a consensus that there's a little bit too much me. That's I think you've done very well. That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no, it no, I need well, we do. Taylor's got it, the logo. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be 50% of the slideshow. Like literally in between every one. It'll go 180 and then like my logo and then 180 and Vex and 180 so. I mean 180 Pro's color is purple. Can we make me purple? I will full on grimace for this. Oh, nice. Yeah. I probably should have worn a white shirt today just so we could have the test. Ooh. It's behind there somewhere, and somebody taped it. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. 636 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Brian here with you, JP producing. There's so much good stuff to talk about in this week's Cup of Tech Gumbo, so let's get right to it. Did you get the ticket? Dealer's choice, Haggai. Wherever you want to start today is good with me. As I was going through all the prep last night. Oh, there's so much good. We have to talk about Sora or Sora 2. We absolutely have to,
absolutely.
and we have audio, by the way. But I tell you, you pick wherever you want to go.
There's just so much. I think one of my favorite stories is talking about Tilly Norwood.
Let's start with Tilly Norwood. I'm a huge Tilly Norwood fan. Celebrate her entire collection.
So if you're looking for the next starlet, the next young female celebrity in Hollywood, and you want to go see some great movies that she's going to be in, her name is Tilly Norwood. Now, you're not going to be able to go get her autograph or anything like that because she's entirely digital code.
Yeah.
She's a complete AI-generated actress, and there's a Dutch company that's made a movie, and they're trying to shop this thing around and she's got her Facebook page, she's got Instagram and all the social medias, and everybody's all excited, both very positive and very negative about Tilly Norwood.
Who is not real.
And
this is causing a lot of blowback because, well, number one, so first they replaced an actress. They didn't replace an actor. From what I'm hearing or from what I've read about it and whatnot is, sure, the Hollywood patriarchy is going to replace actresses first because they are disposable, because men are awful.
Well, of course.
And they need their idealistic woman.
And, so she's an attractive young,
And will forever be.
Yes. She's never going to age
She's
out
not
of
gonna age.
She can be in all kind of different genres of movies, and you don't need the key grip and the best boy and the director and the all the different behind the camera people, because a normal movie might take 3 months to film and another year to finish producing and everything. This movie took about an hour to be generated.
Really?
And so it's kind of like, but Is the movie any good? Is it entertaining? And, my take is we've had, animated movies for a long, long time.
This is different.
This is different, though.
Animated movies have voice actors who are people who act.
This is true.
Can AI have empathy?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. That's part of what this whole, generative AI is leading up to when Sora was released a year and a half ago. The video came out, and it's pretty good video.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Now Sora 2 is coming out, and it's just at a whole nother level. It's going to kind of compete with TikTok.
Yeah.
And which I know is upsetting to you because you love your TikTok.
I do love my TikTok. Well, the thing is, the Sora videos are all over TikTok right now.
Right.
What they're doing is they're AIing historical characters into different situations. They're literally rewriting history, and you cannot tell the difference between, for example, I came across one yesterday of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I'd say, you obviously this is an auditory format. Like, you're not going to be able to see it. But just to get an idea of the accuracy of the voice, the impersonation here from Sora, here's how it sounds.
I have a dream, but then I woke up and I forgot it. Now I'm just standing here saying 6, 7.
I mean,
That's so heartbreaking.
isn't it?
Oh, God. See, we've been saying for a long time, you can't believe anything you've seen on the internet.
Right. Now you can't believe anything you're physically looking at the time.
There is no more reality. I mean, if you're not watching it, if you're not in the room looking at it, looking at the person talking to you, you cannot believe anything you see. All the memes you see on the internet now, all this social media stuff is now over. It's done. You just cannot believe it. Please stop looking at the internet and thinking that anything you see is real.
Right. I spent a good bit of time yesterday watching Stephen Hawking on a dirt bike track.
In his wheelchair?
Yeah. He's doing well, too.
All right.
Yesterday I watched Ronald Reagan and John F. Kennedy in a wrestling match.
Fine.
And they're great. They're all fantastic.
We made fun of it about a year ago, the videos of Joe Biden helping George Washington get off the boat at Valley Forge.
Yeah.
Or Donald Trump shaking Abraham Lincoln's hand videos. Those were kind of funny because, well, Joe Biden was there, but he wasn't president at the time.
Right.
But now, good Lord, you just took Martin Luther King's speech
Mhm.
and changed that?
Yeah.
There is nothing you can believe that you see on the internet anymore.
Tell you, literally yesterday I watched Queen Elizabeth cross up Kobe Bryant in a one-on-one match.
I watched Steve Irwin finally get revenge on that Stingray.
Oh, love that.
It was a wrestling match.
See,
That's where we're at.
that's funny, that's
Mhm.
creative, but now everything is fake.
Yeah.
We are 100%, we crossed over that line of, well, maybe there were still a few things that were real. That line got obliterated.
Yes.
So you just cannot believe anything. It's heartbreaking. Not that you've been able to trust anything on the internet for 2 decades,
Right.
but there was a modicum of a chance that maybe it was real.
Mhm.
Well, there is no more chance anything is real that you see, especially on social medias. Please stop watching and anything you see on social media, ignore it.
Right.
Even what somebody posted what they had for lunch yesterday, that's probably going to be fake now too.
Yeah.
And that's just really sad.
It is. But, I mean, this is the conversation we've been having since we started doing this segment, is at a certain point, fake will eclipse real. Fake will outshine real. And it's not on a person-to-person level yet, but it's definitely on a level to where if you see a video of the President of the United States, I wonder if that's true. I mean, for me, it started with fake news. Okay, it started with clickbait news, right? And that's where the seeds of doubt were sown. And then, like, was it Key and Peele did the Obama video?
Probably.
That it was Peele's voice over Barack Obama, and that was the beginning of we don't believe anything anymore. And now with Sora 2, it's so easy.
I went back yesterday and was going back through all of the notes of all the shows we've done. The first reference I could find to deep fakes was in 2017.
Okay.
So 8 years now we've been talking about these deep fake videos and how that was going to start changing the way we see things on the internet. And it's coming, it's getting worse, Well, now deep fake we should just change the name video to deep fake.
Right.
Because it's just, Sora 2 is so good at the videos, the quality of the video that it can generate.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, right now to get a Sora 2 account, and it's just an app, you still have to be invited to get the app.
Yeah.
So not everybody can run out and go download Sora 2 yet. It's coming, but it's.
We're going to have to pause there in just a second because you're at a spot where we're going to pick up a completely different part of the conversation.
Okay.
And that's getting the horse back in the barn. That part of the conversation. Hey, can you? I don't
that
even
horse
know.
is glue.
Right. Can you even try to get the horse back in the barn? Is there a way to stop Sora in its tracks and completely undo the technology? We are due up for a break, though. He's Haggai Davis. We do a Cup of Tech Gumbo about this time every single week. When we come back, we have Lee Harvey Oswald's confession video. Not really, but that's the kind of thing you'll see on Sora. So we'll continue next on Talk 107.3.
So it is funny, but did you guys see what Zelda Williams wrote about it? Robin Williams' daughter?
Oh, no.
She says, to watch the legacies of real people be condensed down to this vaguely looks and sounds like them, so that's enough.
It's
that
not
was
vaguely, though. It looks exactly like
She says, just so other people can churn out horrible TikTok slop, puppeteering them is maddening. You're not making art, you're making disgusting, overprocessed hot dogs out of the lives of human beings, out of the history of art and music, and then shoving them down someone else's throat, hoping they'll give you a little thumbs up and like it. Dang, Zelda. Because people were sending her videos of her dad.
Oh.
That's what it was. Yeah. So she was like, wait. And it's cool because, like, we laugh at it. But, yeah, I wonder how it affects the lives and legacy of these individuals, you know. Because, look, I crack up just as much as anybody. But I never really looked at it from that perspective either. Like, when she came out with that, I was like, oh, I never really thought about that.
So, and it depends on the content as well. Oh,
Yeah.
we're going to be a minute shy, aren't we?
A little bit. We'll just be
I have a live read to do.
Okay.
It also depends on the intent of what they're using it for. Like,
Right.
if it's straight humor, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're using it for, like, completely ill intent, like some kind of,
Yeah.
like, oh, look how racist this person was.
Oh.
Although I did see one a couple days ago was Martin Luther King saying, I have a dream that one day black men and black women will figure out what that beeping is coming from their ceiling.
I saw one. It was him and JFK doing Ding Dong Ditch on someone's ring.
I saw that one.
He did. Oh, man.
Join local leaders and experts in supply chain management and logistics for the 5th annual Supply Chain Baton Rouge, a day of networking, insight, and education that keeps you ahead and accelerates your business potential. You could be a part of Louisiana's premier supply chain event. It's coming up October 28th at the Crown Plaza, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's a full slate of speakers. There is just a ton of information, business owners, business leaders, anybody who uses the term supply chain in their day-to-day life. You need this one. If your work revolves around supply chain, you're part of that machine that keeps America moving. So you want to be at the forefront of that machine. It's called, the theme this year, One Day to Power Your Logistics Strategy. It's at the Crown Plaza on October 28th. If you want tickets, search Supply Chain Baton Rouge over on Eventbrite. Go to eventbrite.com, look up Supply Chain Baton Rouge. By the way, you get a breakfast and a lunch along with your ticket, and Heck of a lot of networking and information being served up for Supply Chain Baton Rouge 2025. Here comes your money now. Mary, prison.
So that's what I was asking Brian. What was it the other day? I was like, how long before we get a series, a TV series, or even a movie?
Oh, they're
that's
already
just
out there.
completely AI generated.
No, but
with you guys discussing that, I'm thinking, oh crap, we're already there. We're already there.
there's a ton of AI sitcom clips, and they're not
What?
bad. They're
Wow.
super racist, by the way. The internet is unbelievably racist.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we can, if there's a way to screw it up, we'll do it
Yeah.
to make it the most degrading. It's just, ugh. Man, total depravity at its finest. They got the laugh tracks and everything.
Oh,
Oh,
premise down on.
oh man.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Someone tried that on Marlon Wayans recently in an interview. They were like, "Oh, whatever, broke actor," and he's like, "Man, all right, cool, whatever. Congrats on surviving the abortion." I'm like, "Dang,
Wow.
Oh.
dang, what a time."
652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We had a cup of tech gumbo rolling right here. As we're going to the break, Haggai was asking the question: can you get the horse back in the barn? Can you get the what back in the horse? Sora 2 is not available to the public yet. What's the likelihood that we just see this shut down because it's too good? It's too dangerous.
Zero chance.
See,
You have way too many people investing way too much money in generative AI, in artificial intelligence, all these data centers that are blowing up all over the country. I mean, we're even one of the stories we talked about. Jeff Bezos is talking about putting a data center in space, which would make a lot of sense.
yeah,
It's unlimited
It would-
power and it's cold up there, so you don't have to worry about water coming up out of the ground.
right.
But the fact that the things that we're doing now with this AI, whether it's generative AI, whether it's videos, where it's just ChatGPT, Perplexity, any one of these large language models, Google Gemini, go through Microsoft Copilot, go through all the big names, Claude from Anthropic.
Oh, I keep hearing about Claude.
Oh, I love Claude. I
You use Claude?
all the time.
Okay, I'm just now learning about Claude.
So there's 5 different LLMs that I use. I use ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Claude from Anthropic, and Perplexity. I bounce around between all 5 of them. All have their different strengths and sometimes I just ask the same question to all of them to see what answers
Who's
I
got
like
the
the
best
best.
answer?
Yeah. And because they all are not going to tell you the exact same thing, so that's kind of fun to do it that way. But yes, I use those 5 all the time.
Mhm.
Love it.
Yeah, I actually learned about Claude through the Business Wars podcast as one of their sponsors for
Yeah,
the Business
they're-
Wars podcast.
Claude is really, really good about giving technical answers on things,
Mhm.
especially it being in the IT world. It's kind of really cool to use.
Okay.
I use these things more for search instead of doing the old fashioned Google search, because I mean, that's just so last year to do an old fashioned Google search and not do
Right.
one of these large language models. So it's fascinating though that where this AI has gone, this generative AI, especially with all these videos. No, that horse is now turned into glue. It's so far away from the barn. The barn is burned, and they've built a data center over top of where the barn was.
How many times in the time that we've been doing this segment, like how many, not today's segment, but
Right.
since we first started, how many times have I quoted Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park?
Right.
You spent so much time wondering if you could, you never stop to ask if you should. And this is where we are.
And every time you've asked, it's always been a great question.
Right.
And I never had a good answer because I can't jump up with the umbrella and say, "Hey boys, it's raining. Let's go back inside and stop for a while."
What's the likelihood that popular opinion says enough is enough? What's the likelihood that we see a shift in popularity towards, for example, another story we're supposed to talk about today, a shift in popularity where a younger generation says enough is enough. I want to go back to a flip phone.
The idea of going back away from this artificial intelligence is the bigger problem is that it's not going to make money for a while, and people are going to have invested gazillions of dollars, and those gazillions of dollars are going to dry up. And people are going to start saying, "Where's my money back? Where's my payback?" Oh, we need more money from you to keep this thing going. Well, you're cut off because I don't got no more money to give to you.
Right.
And then there's going to be some weeding out of a lot of these large language models.
Yeah.
One of the stories we talked about, Sam Altman is quoted as saying, "Hey, look, there's a lot of people going to lose a lot of money of the money that they've invested in this. And we may have not, remember the .com bubble from 25 years ago?
Yes.
We may have an AI bubble here in the next few years because too many people have invested too much money and they're going to lose a lot. And then there's a lot of people who are not investing enough money yet, and they're going to miss out on a lot of revenue.
Right.
So that is where you're going to see the drawback. It's not because of popular opinion. It's going to be because we run out of other people's money.
We saw this on a small scale with augmented reality or VR. I mean, VR is not dead, but like we've seen this on a small scale with trying to make public too soon, too fast, augmented reality.
The Facebook glasses are really taking off, though.
They are finally, yes, but
it took
how
a while.
many people found the poorhouse on the way?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of burn rate on that capital.
I mean, Microsoft has canceled the whole HoloLens
right
for a reason because not enough people were buying it because
right.
those things were really, really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, but for $300 or $400 instead of $3,000 or $4,000, you can get those augmented glasses, the Facebook, Google, or Facebook glasses, the Meta glasses. Excuse me, not Facebook, the Meta glasses.
Whatever, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
Driven by a desire to escape screens and reclaim a sense of control, the younger generation is resurrecting digital cameras, flip phones, and CDs. This is a real story, but it's such a small fragment of. It's like, okay, yes, that's true, but also there was a time in the mid-'90s where we all got into swing music for 5 weeks.
Yeah, and so a lot of these Gen Zs, these under 25-year-olds.
We did, JP. They had a whole movie with Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn.
Oh, the
Cherry Poppin' Daddies, the Brian Setzer Orchestra. These were a thing.
Absolutely, Stray Cat Strut.
Swingers. Yeah.
The idea that these kids, they want some kind of nostalgia. They're not going back to rotary dial phones kind of thing, but they are trying to find CD players, and they are trying to find turntables with vinyl albums.
Right.
I mean, Taylor Swift is releasing all of her music on albums and CDs, not just streaming platforms. And I just soon use the streaming platforms because I can go to any music that I want at any given second.
Yeah.
I don't have to go thumbing through the album and put it on the turntable. Yes, I know that my good friend Troy out there, he loves his vinyl albums. I mean, he's got a bunch of mine because I don't have a turntable anymore.
I love vinyl albums as well, but it's one thing to like dial out and be nostalgic. It's another thing to make that the way. And
yeah.
All right.
But it's a loaded show this week. There's so many topics.
We barely scratched the surface. You get your full serving of Tech Gumbo, of course, Saturdays and Sundays here on Talk 107.3 FM and anywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Always appreciate your time, Haggai.
You bet.
ABC News coming up. Oh. Do you still have that Ronald Reagan one? Was that last week that we did that, or was it? You got to hear the Ronald Reagan one I sent him. No, it was Monday that we did it, huh? It was Ronald Reagan was one, and then there was another one. I think it was JFK. You got to hear this shit. It's unbelievable, dude. It is like the Ronald Reagan especially, because JFK looks AI. Ronald Reagan looks real.
One of the things that we didn't get to this morning, but Sam Altman is out there actually saying, look, don't worry about all those copyright laws. You should want your characters, you should want people to take your copyrighted characters and let them do things in Sora 2, because it's going to drive revenue and make money, and we'll do revenue sharing with you. Don't worry about, what they're doing to SpongeBob.
Right.
You're going to enjoy it. Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine how many more chicks Harvey Weinstein would have smashed if AI was in there? You want the part, or you want it to go with AI? I mean, this is going to be like Me Too all over again.
Look.
I sent you an email. I believe it was on Sunday night for Monday's show.
Okay, I'm looking at Monday. Okay.
Right. Yeah, they all women and so I am like one of the biggest anti-porn people out there. Like, I despise it. It is not. That's not sex. That's violence, and it's not real people. And people aren't built like that. People don't look like that. Women aren't made like that. And every time someone is watching porn, they're devaluing human life. It's just something we're not supposed to talk about in Morning Drive, or else it would be a bigger topic around here. But it's, you found him? Okay.
No, I didn't find him.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
But this will lead to more of that.
Well, it already has. I think we did a story not long ago about how I don't know, maybe half of the porn that's being created now is AI generated. So many of these women just have torpedoes out in front of their
Right.
chest. They couldn't stand up straight.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but you look at, like, okay, and I know my TikTok algorithm is stacked for a 48-year-old man. But like, you look at what's being sold on TikTok, you look at Instagram's the worst. Instagram is like yeah. Oh, they got this little machine. It's like every third ad on my Facebook on Reels. Yeah.
Mine's hymns.
See,
I get a lot of
that's
hymns.
ED. I mean, that's not make it bigger, but that's ED.
But still, yeah.
But like, okay, so now you take AI porn and make it to where like every dude is like hung like he's in prison.
Yeah.
And like now every boy is going to grow up feeling inadequate about themselves.
Yeah.
And pumping thousands of dollars individually, thousands of dollars collectively, billions of dollars into an industry that cannot unsolve nature, for one thing. Yeah. And then what are we going to do with mental health on the back end of that? Because what's the suicide rate going to be?
And we're seeing it with less than that, right? And we're seeing teen suicide rate with less than that. Just because, you're seeing your friend's vacation more than you. No, it's so weird. Like, from you, I have no email. So Thursday, and then it jumps to Monday, and I don't have it. That's freaking weird. It's literally last Thursday. Last thing I got, and as far as TikTok goes, last thing I got from you was was Tuesday, 7:32. before that Monday. Yeah. That's it. What the heck don't I?
I'll find the other one.
Pervert any type of technology.
That's what I said. Lee Harvey Oswald's confession video coming up after the break. 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Busy hour this hour. We got Lana Vanable from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch coming on because we're in the midst of Lawsuit Abuse Awareness Week. What's the cost? What's the toll for Louisiana and Louisianans? We'll talk with Lana coming up in just our next segment. Also this hour, Crimestoppers coming your way, 7:35. Lieutenant Don Capola is going to be in the house, see if we can't catch some bad guys. Right now, though, we got top stories and trending.
Number 5.
I told you we had a lot in the Cup of Tech Gumbo. My stack is like ridiculous over here. Economic development and improved public safety. That's what Metro Councilman Darrell Hurst has in mind for his Revive Plank Road plan. Things are in the early stages now, but this will start off, the Revive Plank Road plan will start off with the creation of the Delmont Economic Development District, running up Plank from Evangeline to Airline.
Number 4.
We got to talk with Councilman Hurst about his acronyms. The Delmont Economic Development District. The acronym is dead. Come on, Darrell. Remember Anthony Tomplay, the Baton Rouge teen who was the subject of the Netflix documentary, I Just Killed My Dad? Well, he's back in jail up in Poincare Parish on drug charges after being caught with more than a pound of weed.
Number 3.
One person is dead after a shooting on Tennessee Street. Police were called to the scene around 4:37 p.m. According to witnesses on the scene, someone was driving by, started shooting. BRPD is currently investigating, and as of now, that is all the information we have on that particular story.
Number 2.
The Lafourche Parish District Attorney's report on the investigation of a fatal crash involving LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey says that the investigation contained several inconsistencies. Said that LSP's investigation contained several inconsistencies. So much so that the DA's report concluded the evidence submitted does not support LSP's report that Lacey caused the crash, nor does it support saying he should have known that he caused the crash.
Number 1.
Taking you out to the tropics because Jerry is not yet a hurricane, but is making its way over there. 65-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds, keeping Jerry just under hurricane status as a tropical storm. Now, Jerry likely not going to bother anybody. Its projected path right now is going to keep it in the Atlantic. Should become a hurricane later on today. There is one other disturbance out there, but it is way up in the northern Atlantic. So as we stand on October 9th, nothing bothering us for this hurricane season. What you got, JP?
Well, St. Tammany Parish Councilwoman Kathy Seiden announced that she will challenge Senator Bill Cassidy for his U.S. Senate seat next year. Yeah.
This is so. Programming note: tomorrow, 7:15 a.m. We'll get the first bite at the apple for a long-form interview with Kathy Seiden. I believe she's coming in studio. This is going to be a very, very interesting race because she presents something that the other three candidates don't.
Oh, yeah?
The other three candidates, between the incumbent Bill Cassidy, between Blake Miguez, and between John Fleming, those three candidates are fighting to be Donald Trump's best friend. Who's the most MAGA? And they're all looking to take that lane. Kathy Seiden has the opportunity to say, are you sick of Washington? I'm a mother of 4. This is her saying this, not me.
Right.
She could say, I'm a mother of 4. I care about what's going on at your kitchen table more than I care about what's going on Capitol Hill. Like, what are the trickle-down effects of everything that people are fighting for? And look at what we're looking at right now. We're on day 8, day 9. What are we on the it's 9. Day 9 of the governmental shutdown. And there's people battling on the right, and there's people battling on the left, and there's people from the right that are moving over to the left because all of a sudden things affect them personally, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And all this bickering and battling is going on. And what are the ramifications in your home? What are the ramifications in my home? Like, what are the effects at the kitchen table? history repeating itself once again. This was the battle in the 90s when James Carville said it's the economy, stupid. This was the battle in the 90s when you had quote-unquote kitchen table politics. What mattered at home matters a lot more than what's happening on Capitol Hill. And how do you get from point A to point B? She's got a viable lane to get out there. Now, she's going to need a butt ton of money to make her name known statewide. Blake Miguez has got a hard enough uphill battle making his name known statewide. He's already a state senator. She's the St. Tammany Parish councilwoman. So, I will say this, though. I was doing a little Facebook stalking. I'm going to have a conflict of interest in this race.
Okay.
She's a mother of 4 in St. Tammany Parish. She's got 4 boys. You know what? Yeah. She's the only one in this race sending their kids to St. Paul's.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm gonna. Oh,
yeah.
I got to stay neutral on this. I don't get involved on that end.
It'd be a great topic of discussion, right? I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah.
Her perspective on this race could be completely different.
Absolutely. In other news, the body of fallen Iberville Parish Deputy Charles W. Riley was escorted from Broussard to a funeral home in Gonzales on Wednesday, and Baton Rouge showed up to line streets during the procession.
A lot of Baton Rougeans, a lot of first responders. I got to see firsthand. It was the weirdest thing, though, coming from here at 929 Government Street.
Yep.
Going to the Rotary Club on Drusilla. As I'm making my way west to east on I-10 eastbound, in between Acadian and College Drive, there's that Valley Park overpass, and saw 2 fire engines sitting on top of the overpass, lights rolling, lights going, and a good half dozen or more firefighters just sitting there hanging out like they're in the first row of the bleachers at a baseball game. And I'm like, why are these dudes just hanging out on an overpass? They've got to have something, because it's so unusual to see, like.
It is.
Yeah, it's, if you see firefighters, they're normally working, right? Yeah. And they're normally beating other first responders to the scene somewhere. But, like, just to see them all, like, hanging there, I'm like, what is going on? Well, come to find out, we were within an hour and a half of the procession.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering from a distance. I was like, "What is that?" And it was lights. It was the fire truck lights. So yeah, man. Well, Brian, the brain rot term 6'7" has officially hit Newsweek,
which I think is good news.
Yeah,
I think is good news, because once it hits news, like once it's in print, like it's made its way through our system and is about to be flushed out. All right. If you're not familiar with the term 6'7", you clearly don't have kids. Like, it's just, if you have kids, it is such an earworm. It's so invasive. They're saying it all the time. Teachers, God bless you. Teachers, can you imagine the number of times you have to hear that in every single class? I mean, you've got it to where, like, people are going to, like, a restaurant where you have to take a number, and they're filming when they get past 65. Because then they'll call for 6'6", and then they'll call for 6'7", and everybody will lose their mind. Like, it's the dumbest meme that started as a reference in a rap song, and it means absolutely nothing.
Man.
But now that it's this invasive, I'm hoping that, like, once adults are saying it stupidly, that the kids get tired of it.
Yeah, they'll get tired of it.
Oh God, what are so cringe, Dad?
Right. Oh man, but yeah, it's like other terms. What we had, sus. Yeet was there for a while.
Yeet.
Yeah. Oh man.
I still like yeet. Oh, golly. I'm looking at my paper right now. I don't think Danny wants his name associated with this segment, but we got to. 5-Star Printing and Signs is your go-to if you're looking to re-up your brand, if you're looking to make sure that your business's name is known. 5-Star Printing and Signs at 271-4096 is your go-to here. Danny and his team, they'll collab with you a little bit. Collab's another new term, right? They'll collab with you a little bit. Take a look at your business card. Is it meh? Is it just kind of in the background? Would it send Patrick Bateman into a rage? Take a look at your business card. Can you bring that to where it's garnering more attention? Take a look at all your printed materials, your brochures, your one-sheets, any signage you've got on the wall. Does it grab the eye? Or are you out of sight, out of mind? Are you background noise? 271-4096 for Print Shop or printshop5.com to get a hold of 5-Star Printing and Signs. And by the way, printshop5.com, scroll through the merch. Put your logo on something. Make sure you're out there for 5-Star Printing and Signs. Rolling over 718 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're slated to talk with Lana Vanable from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch right here. I'm hoping to connect with her as this week is Lawsuit Abuse Awareness Week. And this is observed annually in the first full week of October by Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. And the Louisiana Legal Reform Coalition and other civil justice reform organizations across the country. Lawsuit Abuse Awareness Week is a grassroots effort aimed at informing citizens about the significant costs and economic consequences of lawsuit abuse. So joining us now to talk about this, we've got Lana Vanable on with us. How are you this morning?
Hey, Brian, I am great. How are you?
Doing very well as well. So as the week wears on, and we started off by talking with Tiger Joyce on Monday, but I wanted to check back in maybe one or two more times because this is an important week out of the year that we kind of take note of the consequences of our legislative actions, if you will.
Right. And, it really is good, I think, that we have this week set aside to really just shine a light on how lawsuit abuse impacts every single one of us. I think we tend to think, well, I'm not in the judicial system. I'm not an attorney. That doesn't have anything to do with me. But, what we see all the time, unfortunately, is that, with all the commercials, all the billboards, everything promoting what you and I have talked about many times is this culture of jackpot justice in Louisiana. That's how it's impacting everybody because all these costs of these judgments are being passed down to every single one of us. And most of the time it's in subtle ways that we really don't even see.
Let's talk about jackpot justice for just a little bit because there are a number of laws that can be written. We could pass anything we want in the legislature, and we could set the table for the laws to be right, but the mentality's got to be right as well. How can we actively affect jackpot justice? How can we change hearts instead of changing laws?
I think that's a great question, Brian. And, that's what my organization, Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch, has really been trying to do. There's no silver bullet, as we always say, just as is the case with lawsuit reform itself or legal reform. But it's a constant beating of the drum that people don't forget and just don't take for granted that living in Louisiana is a little bit different than in other states in a number of ways, as we know. But one of those ways, as we've seen play out a lot in the recent legislative sessions, is the cost of auto insurance. We're hoping to see those numbers come down. But really what we're talking about when we talk about having a good, solid legal culture or good, balanced civil justice system is really one which is just sound public policy, good public policy. We've seen our neighbors in Texas decades ago enact sweeping, comprehensive reforms, and they haven't stopped there. They've kept at it year after year after year, making more changes that continue to make Texas the number one state to do business in the country. And then recently, we've seen our friends in Florida and Georgia enact these sweeping reforms. They're not piecemeal. They truly are enacting comprehensive reforms across the board that are designed to have the most impact in the shortest amount of time.
We're talking with Lana Vanable from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch. Lana, a couple of things that I think could kind of get to the core of jackpot justice. I don't know that they've been addressed to the length that they can be. One of them is the nuclear verdicts. How important is the nuclear verdict in the overall equation of jackpot justice?
Brian, I don't know if you're a mind reader or you were looking at my notes, but that's definitely become an issue that we are seeing more and more across the country and also here in Louisiana. So nuclear verdict is a judgment of $10 million or more in a single case. Mm-hmm. And that used to be almost unheard of, but now it's unfortunately is becoming more commonplace. So, we know the civil justice system exists to right wrongs, and that's obviously what it's there for. It certainly has a place. But it's when it's abused and we start seeing these just eye-popping verdicts. And I'll give you an example, is the recent verdict against Chevron and Plaquemines Parish in the coastal lawsuits alleging damages from activities that were legally permitted decades ago. And then now we've kind of come back and changed the rules in the middle of the game. And that verdict was, I hope everybody's sitting down, $745 million in a single case against Chevron. So those are the kinds of things that obviously would have a very chilling effect on businesses wanting to come here. Getting those types of verdicts against them in the first place, but then knowing that they were related to activities that were legally permitted decades ago, and then coming back and just, moving the goalposts. Businesses want certainty just like we do. And when they don't have that, it really impacts their decisions on where, when, and how much to invest. And then that's where we all start to feel the impacts of that.
And one of the reasons that $750 million verdict is important is because it's not the only lawsuit out there, and it sets precedent. And it sets precedent that can just absolutely bankrupt companies. And when you bankrupt companies, you eliminate jobs.
Absolutely. And again, just in this particular case with this industry, there are 40, I believe more than 40 suits remaining in the queue that are very similar to this one. And again, just the message that sends is just, overwhelming, and that we don't want you here. If you do what you're legally permitted to do, we're going to come back, decades later after the rules change and hold you accountable for what was legal when you did it. So that's the kind of thing that really is just, it's frightening. And especially when you look at an industry like oil and gas that truly has been the backbone of our state's economy for generations. It helped build generational wealth for families, provided opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. So, we really have to look at the big picture there and not say, oh, well, that doesn't impact me. I'm not involved in that. But it really does. It colors how businesses and investors see Louisiana as a potential opportunity for them.
And that's jackpot justice on a corporate level, on a huge level,
right.
On a level that a lot of folks could just clock out on, saying, I'm not Chevron, I'm just me. But there's also this area where, and we saw last legislative session, Representative Peter Egan put out a bill that would have put a cap of $5 million on $5 million on all the other stuff. Like if you got into an accident, you're out of work for a certain period of time, you got your medical costs and all that, all the other stuff that was involved, he wanted to put a cap on $5 million of that. Aside from the medical, aside from the disability, aside from the loss of work, $5 million for just all the other mental anguish or whatever you could pile into it. And even that got shot down in committee. $5 million just because you feel bad. Like if we can't put that cap on there, and I know $5 million versus $750 million, or $745. I realize we're talking two different worlds here, but it's the thought that the exact same problem is happening on personal and business levels.
You're right. I mean, it's the same principle. It's pervasive in Louisiana. And that was one of the most disappointing outcomes of the session, was that bill failed. And as you mentioned, we talk a lot about Louisiana being competitive with other states and being on par and comparable. So, if we want to align with other states, there are states around us that have caps or have long had caps, and just to let that damage amount go unchecked, well, of course it sends a message to people that, well, if I happen to find myself in this situation, on top of the multiple billboards and TV commercials and everything else that's so pervasive everywhere, the first thought is, well, I'm going to sue, and in some cases, again, that may absolutely be warranted. And these trial attorneys they're operating within the law with their advertising. But what you're talking about, Brian, I think is that larger, more pervasive issue of that first thought is not, well, let me work this out with the entities involved. The first thought is, let me go and see if I can sue these people over this and let me figure out, how I can have the most gain. And when those kinds of things happen, and instead of becoming what happens in your worst case scenario, they happen on a regular basis, that's what we mean by the shift in the civil justice system and the unbalance there.
I've told you my story about getting hit by an independent trucker. So my own personal history on that front. And I'll share that story with the audience at some point. It's just too long for this segment. We're talking with Lana Vanable from Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch, as it is is Lawsuit Abuse Awareness Week being observed throughout the week this week. Lana, before we get into anything else, where can folks go if they want to learn more about what they should be on the lookout for, what kind of legislation could be coming around, just become, their own personal activist?
Yeah, thank you, Brian. It's very easy, a couple of ways. Our Twitter or X page is @Reform Louisiana. Our website is LLAW for Louisiana Lawsuit Abuse Watch.org. They can, on our website, sign up for more information, become engaged with what we're doing. There's all kinds of useful information there, as well as our reports and studies that we have done or that we have shared that others have done. So it's a really good place for information and how to further take action and become involved.
Got just a couple minutes left, Lana. I'd like to shift the focus to how we come up with numbers here, because I know there are numbers on this, right? That last year alone, lawsuit abuse led to nearly 40,000 jobs lost, $3 million in personal income lost. How do we determine that number or those numbers?
Yeah, so there is a firm that we regularly, through the Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse, partners with every year in Texas, called the Perriman Group. They are an economic impact study firm. They do a lot of this kind of work for organizations around the country. And so we ask them to look at every single state, and whatever formula they use is above my head, but they do have a formula that they employ to come up with these numbers that takes into account all kinds of variables. So we ask them just to come up with this general picture, because it really does show how those effects filter down from, as we were just talking about, that highest level with these lawsuits against corporations, to just the mom and pop, lawsuits that affect us individually and affect these small businesses that sometimes can cause them to shudder, or in the cases of our trucking industry, that's been the target of stage accident scenes for the past few years. Many of those have been forced to relocate their headquarters out of state.
Yeah, just cost of doing business, especially when you're on the road. I mean, whether you got one truck or an entire fleet, the cost of doing business it's you could see it on a P&L. I mean, there is a definite difference between us and our neighbors.
That's right. It's extremely costly. And Brian, when it costs these companies more to transport these items that we all need every single day to live the kinds of lives we lead, there's a cost associated there, and that cost then has to be passed down to the consumer. And that's one of the examples of how we feel it. We feel that cost passed down in the form of higher prices for all kinds of goods and services that we depend on every single day.
LLAW.org, LLaw.org. She is Lana Vanable. Greatly appreciate a couple minutes this morning. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Brian.
Always. Coming up on 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, which means we are not far off from ABC News. In fact, we've got just enough time between now and ABC News for me to remind you that Talk 107.3 and Duplessis Pool Builders are giving away a dream pool. Every $25 donation at talk1073.com supports dreams come true, granting wishes for Louisiana kids with life-threatening illnesses. Y'all know about our partnership with Dreams Come True. It's something we look forward to every year, is helping them out. By the way, along with that donation that you're making, it gets you entered to win. Each $25 donation gets you entered to win. A donation of $100 gets you 5 entries. Enter today at talk1073.com. What can I do for you? Hey. Oh, but we are. That was a big part of the last session. That was a big part of the governor's pitch, too. Well, here's the follow-up question to that, man, and this is the part that I keep getting stuck on in every conversation, is why is it 49 other states have figured it out? Well, yeah, but they are in the 49 other states where the rates are lower. Our rates are double what they are everywhere else. Yeah, that's that. Well, and that, but that needs to be called out as well for sure. But it doesn't undo the other part of the equation. Yeah. Right. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Which that would be a lot easier to do if their balance sheet didn't include $10 million verdicts for a fender bender. Like, and I know I'm being hyperbolic. I realize I'm being hyperbolic, but time is short, so I'm trying to emphasize. But you get what I'm saying, though. If the balance sheet can get rid of the high end, there's probably room on the low end. Yeah. Right. But every time you see somebody in a commercial with a big fat check that's standing there, that factors into that overall number, that factors into their profit margin that they have. Right. And it just, bro, not if I want to keep my blood pressure down. Oh, yeah, yeah. Right. Wait, wait, what cap? Oh, yeah. On medical malpractice, yeah. That's another piece on the chessboard. No, I'm with you. Hey, look, I got to run. We got to hop back in the segment. Later.
Good morning.
Exhausting. Good morning.
I could have got that for you. So nice to be back.
I'm glad to have you back.
I think you turned out nice last week, huh?
Could not have been better.
Coach Monkey was on the team.
So she's been on her game lately with the public speaking, and I was at Metanoia Manor for that event she was talking about.
Yeah.
She said, I was at the Metanoia thing, and if you were there, don't spoil my joke. And I leaned over to Taylor, Raina, who's at the table with us, and I was like, it wasn't a nun. Totally spoiled her joke.
Yeah, my son was glad to meet y'all.
Yeah. Had him sit with us. That was awesome.
He's doing such good things.
737, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, as we do about this time every Thursday. It's time for Crimestoppers. Let's go. What the hell was Matt Williams thinking? Farting in a jar? What the?
Yeah, well, I'm like, what?
Matt's so good, so frequently. Like, he's guys Money in the Bank all the time, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Oh, lunchtime today. Lunchtime's gonna roll around today. I'm probably gonna do something healthy. Probably gonna do some like either a salad or Smoothie King. What I'm not gonna be doing is going over to the Renaissance Hotel for filet mignon.
I tell you what.
And that's what I did last Thursday.
Wow, and it was incredible. Well, I hear it was incredible.
You didn't eat?
I didn't eat. We were busy. I wasn't in studio last week.
I know, because you were handling last-minute details out at the Crimestoppers Law Enforcement Awards luncheon.
And listen, it turned out amazing.
It was ridiculous. It was so good.
You know, and Brian, we can't thank everyone that took part to make it what it was. And it seems like each year it just continues to get bigger and better.
Yeah. Just for those that you know maybe weren't around last week or hadn't been paying attention, the whole purpose of the luncheon it's twofold, really. The purpose of the luncheon is to honor those who are protecting us, honor our first responders, to be sure. You get the awards of excellence that go out, and they cleaned up here yesterday. I had the information from the banquet when we had the the booklet that was on the table.
Yeah.
And I wanted to run through them again. We got the awards of excellence that go out, and there was a good number of them this year.
There was a good number, and we also wanted to recognize Sergeant Caleb Bosworth.
Of course.
And the event of him losing his life, doing what he loved to do and was so good at it. But the event itself was nice. Our guest speakers and, of course, our MC and everybody who was there. It really.
Oh, so the MC, Matt's Money in the Bank. He's so good.
Matt is amazing. He really is.
And then Kim Mulkey was the keynote speaker.
She did a great job.
And she has been on her game lately with the keynote speaking, like so much so that I'm worried about the women's basketball season.
No, they're gonna.
I'm like, has she put too much time into fine tuning her speech?
Not at all, because this lady came from practice. Okay.
Yeah. No, she was dressed for practice.
She was dressed for practice.
I'm over here in a suit, and she's over there like repping the purple and gold.
Right, and then when she left, she went back to practice. I think the Lady Tigers are going to be okay.
No, I have no doubt that they will. And the message that she shares, that she shared during her talk, talking about how there was a time in her life when she thought about walking down that path of being. I think she said she wanted to be a prosecutor.
She did,
yeah.
and for her to get emotional. From the start, talking about the public safety and the job that those people do day in and day out, and it was really nice and touching.
Completely. The other part of this, and like I said, it's twofold. The big part of it is honoring law enforcement, honoring those who step up and provide excellence for our protection on a day-to-day basis. The other part of this is it's a fundraiser.
It is a fundraiser, and as our executive director Johnny Dunham has said, people think that we get funds from city parish government, and that's not necessarily the case. It's right. The fundraisers that we do, the pickleball tournaments, the awards luncheon, the golf tournaments in the past. Mm-hmm. That's how we raise our funds to pay our tipsters, and we pay once a month. Today is that payday that we're going to pay at a local bank, and to continue that, we have to raise these funds through either donations or the fundraising. We had the concert with Ned. Which was amazing. And
are we talking about the? No, never mind. No,
not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
But yeah,
more to come.
That's how
Sneak
we
peek,
continue to pay our tipsters. And Capital Region Crimestoppers has been around for over 40 years. So what we're doing is working. We just need to continue what we're doing and maybe build on it to think of something new that we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it fresh is important, but keeping the mission front and center is just every bit as important. So let's get to it, shall we?
Yeah, so we're going to start off talking about some unsolved.
What? I'm sorry. Can can I like redirect here? We'll get to the unsolved
Yeah,
in a
that's
second.
fine. Go ahead.
I want to start off with a solved. Okay. All right. On the Capital Region Crimestoppers page from 3 days ago, Randall Boyette. This is an update from, I believe it's West Baton Rouge.
Yeah, an escapee from West Baton Rouge.
Escapee from West Baton Rouge. Randall Boyette is back in custody again. And the West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office was asking for information and put up a number of pictures, very clear pictures of Randall Boyette. We got a very clean look at this guy. Clean's a relative term because he's definitely not. But when y'all posted it on the Capital Region Crimestoppers Facebook page, one of the comments that I took note of was coming in from Marie saying, "I'm familiar with this guy. His dad was a drug addict and had a criminal record much longer than Boyette. His mother was as bad as his dad. He was taken from them at age 2 and lived with his grandmother until she passed as a child." And I don't want to like talk about any of that for like what the psychology is behind it or any kind of I'm not talking about this from that aspect, but what I love about that post is how personal it gets.
Exactly, and
how very quickly we're not talking about some monolith of like, crime versus fighting crime. We're talking about a very people level.
And with that post, so a tip was made, and just so people know that we vet these tips, and so if there's anything that would identify the tipster, we take that out. Okay, so no, 100%, your information is anonymous. We do our best to protect the anonymity so nothing comes back.
And to be clear, this wasn't a tip. This was a comment on
this
the Facebook
was a
page.
comment.
So,
but that information there and when that was given could have assisted investigators in what they're looking for as far as going back, searching for the whereabouts of him. Hey, let's check here. Let's contact these people. So again, we talk time and time again, Brian, as don't assume that, oh, well, it's just, I only have this. This isn't gonna, you never know.
Right.
That small piece of information may be the missing link that investigators are searching for. And if your information pans out, then you're eligible for a cash reward.
Absolutely. And this woman's post goes on to talk about how basically this Boyette guy was born with 2 strikes against him and never had a chance in life. And like it was, to quote it, was and still is a lost soul begging. And that's a quote from that post. But within that post are a number of different family-oriented details that investigators, detectives could say, oh, have we looked at the grandmother's house? Have we looked at the stepdad granddad's house?
100%.
There's so many different leads from that one post, and it's just another example of how things translate from very, very big to very, very individual.
Absolutely.
Right.
The 10th escapee from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's back in custody.
Back in custody, apprehended in the Atlanta area from a Crimestoppers tip. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the program works. All we need you to do is pick up the phone, give us a call, 344-7867. Go to download the P3 Tips app. It's better to have and not need versus need and not have.
Right.
Said from.
That's my tagline. It's better to have it not needed than need and not have it, and I still haven't used it.
So, but you have it, just in case.
I do. All right, now unsolved. What are we looking at?
So we're gonna start with a 30-year-old unsolved homicide of Lee Jackson. This was posted on our Facebook page back in August, early August. Homicide investigators, the Baton Rouge Police Department, are seeking information regarding the shooting death of Lee Jackson. He was 36 years old at the time, fatally shot on December 5th, 1994, just after midnight, as he drove through a parking lot in the 6900 block of Renoir Avenue. He succumbed to his injuries at the scene. And I want to mention besides him, you have the Allie Rice, Devin Page Jr. So the list goes on and on of these unsolved homicides. And we believe that someone out there has some type of information. And even if investigators already have the information, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're in early to mid-October. Okay, so right around the corner of the holidays. What better something for the holidays to give these families closure
Yeah.
in the one or ones that took their family members from them.
Yeah.
So again, if don't
Well,
assume, don't think, this isn't going to help. We would rather receive the same information over and over again than nothing at all, and you hold on to something. So let's help these families out.
Yeah. Lee Jackson killed. 1994.
Yes.
That's so definitely falls under the cold case title right there. But it doesn't mean that like you weren't,
Did you
weren't
see
around.
something? Did you hear something? Did you overhear somebody mentioning something about it?
30 years is a long time for someone to slip up.
That's a long time.
That's a very, very big data set of people
It
who
is.
could have said the wrong thing at the wrong time and not realize that they were, spilling information
Yes.
that would lead to hopefully that piece of the puzzle that helps with the charges and conviction. We got Don Capola in for Crimestoppers. 344-STOP is the phone number. 344-STOP. If you see something, say something. We say that all the time. But it's always so important. And you mentioned heading into the holiday season, Don, and I can't help but think that when you were talking about unsolved, there's still one from right around the corner from my house.
Yes,
Nessa Hartley.
Nessa Hartley, and you don't hear much of that anymore, and we want to keep it on the forefront, Brian, because of the fact that as time goes on, like with the one we just mentioned, 30 years, we don't want these families to think we have forgotten about their loved ones.
Right.
That's not it at all, and I don't wish that on my worst enemy, to lose a loved one and it remain unsolved. I'm sure every time the phone rings, hey, is this the call I'm waiting on? So, and with just like with Nessa, it's, if you have any information, pick up the phone, 344-STOP, 344-7867. Go to the P3 Tips app. You can submit pictures and videos anonymously through that app. Get us information to help these families get some closure. We can't bring their relatives back, but let's get them closure in these situations.
He's Lieutenant Don Capola. We do Crimestoppers at this time every week. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Brian.
Here's your money now. Sorry, I didn't mean to redirect like that, but when I read that post, I thought so. When I read that post, number one, I felt bad for the poor guy, but at the same time, it's like, that ain't, not my pig, not my farm. You done broke the. I don't care. Like,
But I still would like to entertain again having Desmond and Rashawn come on.
Yeah.
It was just bad with the scheduling because they do have jobs, so I'm trying to be respectful of that. They went to Pennington for the Eye Care Summit. We spoke to, one day was 200 high schoolers, the next day was 250 middle schoolers. You had kids in tears coming up to them, hey, what you said I can relate to because I'm going through that now.
yeah,
The point of this being is they made these choices and grown up in broken homes, just kind of like this.
right.
But now they're doing things to better themselves to get out of these situations.
Well, and yeah, just because you have the deck stacked against you doesn't mean you still have a choice.
Right, you don't have to take that same bath. Well, thank you again. So good to be back.
My pleasure.
It's just not the same on the phone.
Yeah. Well, phone is better than nothing. Phone is better than nothing. We always like having you here. But I mean, I'll just have to, struggle and find lunch today somewhere. I'm gonna have to forage for some sort of sustenance that's not. By the way, dude, JP missed out. By the way.
I know he had something else to do.
No, he didn't. No, he did. He didn't come dressed.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I told you to go back to the house.
Then I would have had to. It was Thursday, right? Then I would
Yeah.
have to go back home, come back. Then I had
He
to
was working back here this afternoon, that afternoon. So. No.
I know.
I know.
I know. I hate it. I really do. Because I was like taken back. I'm like, oh, it's a luncheon. I thought it was like.
You know what I think you should do?
Well,
You should do.
you think? I wish. Can't afford those. Yeah, tamales are awesome. Bro, took the wife out to Doe's this a couple months ago. Didn't realize when I ordered the ribeye that I was ordering a 2-pound ribeye. First of all, $90 steak. I mean, 2 pounds, that's about right. I do not make enough money for that. But $90 steak. And let me tell you, I crushed that. Yeah. I felt fatter. No, sure, it's protein. There's a lot of butter, too. There was a lot of, when you can feel your blood going through your veins. That was a rough night. Worth every ounce, though.
Hey, it's not like you do it every day.
Right.
It's that's good. No, you need some. Thank you.
When is the next net event coming up?
So I know he is doing something in December.
Yes, not for Christmas.
I don't think that's the Crimestoppers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think it's going to somebody else. Hopefully soon.
Okay. Well, I've already told him he's got carte blanche to promote. The pipes in that chick. My God. Oh, yeah. He's got the better stage presence. I think she's he still got that sense of urgency. He knows, I don't think she's failed yet. Everybody will at some point in their career.
Yeah. You get a little too confident, you get bit. I understand that, but hey, man,
It was.
y'all be good. Holler if you need.
We'll do. You too.
Hey, this is what we're gonna do for next year. We're gonna get you to bring some clothes and just hang in here somewhere.
I need to. I'm just gonna I'll do that.
I've long since been a proponent of they got enough office space over there. They need to build this out in an apartment. No, for hurricane season and whatnot. Just we need a place where we could change, like a little shower or whatever, and just I should have a suit here on standby. Yeah, go about my daily life as normal and just have a suit on standby.
I like it. Y'all be good.
You too, Don. Appreciate it. $7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hey, don't forget, coming up Saturday is game day. Game day on campus means tailgating. Tailgating means Mathern's. Right there in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, directly across the street from Tiger Stadium, you're going to find Mathern's. You forgot anything for your tailgate, you ran out of anything for your tailgate, they've got you covered. They're a full-service grocery store. Now, on top of that, if you bounce from tailgate to tailgate, you're just bopping around campus a little bit, stop on by. Inside, they've got the beer bar. What is that? Well, they eliminate the salad bar and fill it with beer. Outside, they've got the pop-up tent set up, so you don't even need to go inside. You can snag a cold one from Mathern's on game day. And, oh, by the way, right next to the pop-up tent with the beer is the pop-up tent with the jambalaya. Stop by and see them. Full-service grocery store every day, but it definitely a game day stopover is Mathern's. Coming up Saturday, along with game day, it is also election day. One of the items on your ballot will be for city court judge. Brenden Craig is running for that seat, joins us now. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I appreciate you hopping back on board because when we had you on, we were a good ways out from the election, and I was like, man, I don't know. I kind of did him wrong by putting him out there so soon. So let's get a little quick 3-minute reminder on who Brenden Craig is and why you're running for city court judge.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I've been a criminal defense attorney for 16 years now. I've represented hundreds and hundreds of people in the city court. I think I've had a positive impact on my clients over that time period, and I want to have a positive impact on the city of Baton Rouge as a whole from behind the bench, and I think I have ways I can do that. And you mentioned it. Tomorrow's it's game day, so I'd love for people to take 10 minutes out of their day before they head out to the tailgate and go pull a lever. It's going to be really, really low turnout. You mentioned it's going to be one of the things on the ballot. In fact, for a lot of people in the district, it's going to be the only thing on their ballot.
Yeah.
Others might have district court judge, if you're in Concord Estates, you can have a crime prevention measurement on the ballot. And I've discussed ways the city court judge can, in fact, help. Surprisingly to some people, a city court judge can have a way to reduce overall crime rates in the city of Baton Rouge, specifically violent offenses. And, it's kind of a backdoor way, but we discussed it on the show when I was there. And I know I'd certainly be the guy to be able to do that.
When you're running for city court judge, it's not the huge, TV campaign and whatnot. There's a lot of grassroots campaigning going on, a lot of knocking on doors. What are you hearing most from folks about what they feel they should, what improvements there should be from a city court judge standpoint?
A lot of it is it's efficiency. It's the time it takes while you're there. A lot of people are upset with, I've mentioned when I was on last time, we talked about bench warrants, and that's and my idea is to help reduce those bench warrants in city court. That's getting a lot of traction. I'm knocking on those doors. I'm talking to people about it, and they're really receptive to my ideas. And I think if I'm elected, I think my ideas can help reduce the overall rates of bench warrants in city court, which puts more licensed drivers on the road. It puts more insured drivers on the road, and it helps out our community. So, even if you're out there and you're thinking, well, I'm never going to be in city court. Well, if I'm elected and I get to put my ideas in motion, these, they could have ancillary effects that could benefit you. So again, just take a few minutes out of your day, go pull a lever, and then head out to the game.
Yep, do it before you hit campus. I mean, obviously do it before you hit campus because kickoff is 6:55. You're not getting off campus before the polls close. So make it a note,
That's
October 11th, before you head on out. It should literally take you less than 2 minutes. And I don't feel like I'm being hyperbolic about that.
You're not. I mean, it's going to be ridiculously low turnout.
Yeah.
Like I said, for a lot of people, it's the only thing on the ballot. I'd be surprised if there's a line for you at all. So just take a few minutes out of your day before you head out to campus, and it's going to make a difference. Every vote, because it's such a low turnout. This is what I'm telling people: is every vote will carry more weight just due to the math. I mean, think about how much your vote matters in a presidential election.
Yep.
Out of millions and millions cast. In this case, it's going to be a few thousand total votes cast. So you're going to be heard. Your vote's going to matter, and and I think we'll do well Saturday.
He is Brenden Craig. Appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
Always.
one.
Yep. Saturday, election day, and we've seen it before where literally one vote, can make the difference. Hour 3 is next. I've always promised never to tell the story on air again because it just hurts him so much. Former LSU pitcher Jordan Faircloth ran for judge. And there was a very, very small ballot. It was in the spring.
Yeah.
And that night, Garth Brooks played Tiger Stadium. And he was at the concert, and he was going up asking people, did you remember to vote? Oh, man, I forgot. Man. Jordan lost by one.
One vote.
He lost by one vote.
I had a cousin-in-law ran for alderman in Folsom, Louisiana. He lost by one vote. And he found out his wife had not voted.
No!
They tell the story that night at the election night party. He was chasing it down the street. Yeah, one vote. Be amazed how many.
Are we not happy with where it is, or are we just playing with it?
No, it depends on the guest.
Oh, okay.
Like when Don came in,
yeah,
his shirt
was red. Okay,
he's darker.
Gotcha.
We don't want Dr. Mike Strain to be glowing.
Gotcha.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
We're trying to make.
I try to keep over Haldane here. Glow in the dark.
I am that white.
Halloween's coming up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think we need something. I don't know if it's a light or if it's just something to maybe block the light. Somewhere on this. Maybe another light. To kind of. Yeah.
Another light over here.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that would help with the glow, because right now we're just seeing it from one side.
Louisiana shrimp yesterday at Acme Oyster House.
Hello. Well, Acme needs to step it up, man. You need at least 6 more shrimp on that billboard.
Oh, I already ate.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's Todd eating his shrimp salad.
Nice.
but it was Louisiana shrimp.
Boiled shrimp salad might be the most underrated item in Louisiana.
That's so good. That's like the
Yeah.
best.
Oh, shrimp.
Man, that was some honey mustard.
Oh yeah.
Boy, and we talking.
And it's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
absolutely.
carbs.
Oh,
just
see, I
couldn't
would go.
stand it
I would go
yesterday.
remoulade
I
on this.
couldn't,
On
I couldn't
the
stand
salad.
it yesterday. I had to have a po' boy. Just when you get po' boy in the brain,
Oh,
nothing, nothing will do, right?
No,
Yeah, yeah. I didn't feel guilty either. I said, if you want a half, I said, do I look like a half?
only if the other half's oysters.
That's right. Oh yeah.
Acme calls it the peacemaker. Half oyster,
peacemaker.
half shrimp. So you don't have to decide.
Yeah. Then you go. Then you go back to office and ruminate.
Yeah, that means
Yeah.
nap.
Yeah. Well, that's what cows do when they ruminate, right? They sit there and they rest. Their eyes are closed and they just kind of chewing their cud, right?
Yup.
Yeah. Yep. How have you been? Yeah, you know why it's my favorite newspaper, huh? Let's look on page 2. Well, besides me on the front cover. On page 2. I'm on page. I better be on page 2 of every edition.
Commissioner's Corner.
That's right. Yeah. That's it. It's been around since 1906. And you can get this. It's 2 editions a month, mailed to you for only $10 a year.
Really?
Yeah, that's a deal. That is a deal. Yeah, those classifieds. That's the big deal. Those classifieds. Buy, sell, trade, and if you are a subscriber for your $10, you can put ads in the classifieds for free. A lot of stuff. If you want to see me get in trouble, let that thing be 1 day late. It's the little things you don't think about, right?
Yeah.
Right. And when you
And
think
they're
about
late.
the time for a classified ad versus something online, and it's like, damn it, we've already waited long enough.
Uh-huh. You're looking for old tractor stuff, and yep, and it goes to all the farmers.
Dude.
Yep. So what's going on good?
Fall's so busy.
Boy, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, I got 8th grade daughter, 4th grade son.
That's right.
It's
Yeah. Yep.
I went to Catholic High football game Friday night. I had never been to a
Yeah.
Catholic game before.
Really?
And I
Yeah.
felt bad because I didn't know my boys were playing in town. While I'm at Catholic High, St. Paul's was over at U High.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm sitting there watching Catholic High, and this whole gaggle of parents is talking about how the backup quarterback for Catholic's better than the starter. And once the backup gets in the game, that starter ain't never going back in.
Come on.
And the
was
backup,
that Finley?
as Mr. Huckleberry
Mr.
Finley.
Huckleberry Finley. Yeah.
He's
Yeah, man,
all,
man.
he's all the scuttlebutt up in the stands.
Miss Jen and Kevin, they got their hands full. Zoe and Huckleberry. Yep, they're growing up. Yeah. They're
So,
growing up. So, yeah, let
you
me
watch-
tell you, the next 4 years go fast for those kids.
Oh, I know.
All the kids. Right. Yeah, my daughter's birthday was it's on the 29th. And she's 35.
Wow.
My baby girl. Yeah,
My
Daddy
oldest,
dying.
she's halfway through her first semester of college, and
Oh, yeah.
really has entered her best phase so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confidence,
Yeah.
punctuality,
Yeah.
waking up on time, going to she's doing all of it right now. Happy as hell.
I'd do it again. I'd go back to college again.
Yeah.
At LSU. What?
I would, yeah,
What?
and not screw up as much.
Now, wait now. You know, confession is on Saturday afternoon.
I understand.
Friday afternoon too
we
for
get
some of us.
806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. But if you go on Friday, you already know you're going back on Saturday. 806 Talk 107.3 FM
Better explain what we're
WBRP.
talking about.
Mornings with
Yeah.
Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, JP producing, and Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain is in the house. He was talking about confession times for a
Well,
little reconciliation
that's
and
right.
how it
Well-
cross-referenced with college.
That's right. So if we went back to college this time, that we behave ourselves. I said, look, we might have to go to confession for that little white lie.
I
We'd
mean,
have a good time.
I
We'd
didn't,
study.
I didn't say I wouldn't behave. I didn't say I would behave myself. I said I wouldn't screw up as much. There's a huge difference.
There's a
there.
huge difference there.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't.
would you open your book? But you know why?
I would attend a lot more classes.
Okay.
For sure.
They probably don't have.
There were a
books
lot of
anymore.
8:30 classes that your boy didn't make it to.
You didn't
So,
take those 7:30 a.m.
I did not.
Sunrise.
I had.
We
yeah.
we were required.
Yeah.
So I can remember, doctorship, and he had a 7:30 economics class, 7:30 in the morning, right before the sun would come up, and he was so enthusiastic.
No
right?
can do.
Right.
No can do. I registered for 2 7:30 classes in my entire time at LSU. Both of them got a W. Yeah. Yeah. Where drop ad's over with, and I'm like telling myself I can do it. And no. I'm lying to myself.
Vet school started at 8 a.m. sharp, 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's because y'all farmers. I mean,
platoon.
that's, yeah, y'all know.
8 a.m. sharp.
Whatever.
8 to 4.
Can't do it.
Yep, 8 to 4.
All right, we got Ed Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain coming up in just a little bit. We do have to knock out this day in history. Let's roll. All right, JP, what you got? We're on the clock, man.
Yes, we are.
By the way, shout out to 5 Star Printing and Science for bringing us this day in history every day.
This day in 1781 was the last battle of the American Revolutionary War.
Okay.
Tongue-tied over here.
Took till
Dr. Mike
1781.
Strain, I'm tongue-tied over here.
I understand. How much coffee you had? You need
Just
a little
one
more.
cup.
Need a little coffee, a little chicory in there.
That's
a
it.
little community.
That's it.
Right?
That's what I just finished my 3rd cup a minute ago.
Ooh. Hey, 1855, American inventor Isaac Singer patents the sewing machine motor. That's pretty
Hey,
cool.
all right.
Yeah.
1936, Hoover Dam begins transmitting electricity to Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
And let's see, 1990, radio stations around the world play Imagine to honor John Lennon on what would have been his 50th birthday.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
Let's see, 2017, American film producer Harvey Weinstein is fired from the Weinstein Company after allegations of sexual misconduct. So that happened. And in 2023, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. launches an independent bid for the U.S. presidency at Philadelphia's Independence Mall.
This day in 1888.
Ooh, what happened?
This day in 1888, the Washington Monument opened up.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was
good
built
stuff
from
there.
1848 to 1884, dedicated in 1885, and it opened to the public on this day 3 years after that, in 1888.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to birthdays.
Yes.
You sound unsure. Let's see.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, you had something? You had
No,
something?
I don't.
Let's see. Film director Guillermo del Toro today.
Okay.
Tony Shalhoub as well today.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Of course, as I mentioned, John Lennon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jackson Brown as well, along with Sharon Osbourne.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, a lot from the music world. I know I had one more. Scotty McCreery also from country music star Scotty McCreery.
All right.
Sean Lennon, John Lennon's son. Didn't realize I was
Sean Lennon.
Yeah, born this day, 1975.
Who knew? Also, Trent Lott, born on this day in 1941.
Okay. Nick Swartzen as well.
All right.
Deaths. Oscar Schindler.
Really?
Yeah. Schindler's List. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember.
Movie? Man.
Remember. Incredible story.
Yeah. Anybody else today?
I did not have any.
Okay. As far as national days go here, do we want to go with Beer and Pizza Day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's also Metric Week, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beer and Pizza Day gets it done. All right, 811 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Due up for a quick break. We're going to dive in with that Commissioner Mike Strain in just a little bit. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust, neurojust.com. By the way, little programming preview. Tomorrow is National Mental Health Day. So we're going to team up with the folks from Neurojust to just have some friendly mental health reminders as we make our way through Mental Health Day tomorrow. Neurojust specializes in TMS therapy. That stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. If you or someone you love is suffering from anxiety or depression, you know what the battle looks like. You know what it feels like for that constant fight or flight that's just exhausting because it's constant. If it feels inescapable, if the sit-down, talk-it-out therapy doesn't really do it for you, if you have side effects or diminishing returns from prescription drugs, give TMS a good look at neurojust.com. It is FDA approved. It is non-invasive. There are 0 side effects, and they've got receipts, y'all. We're talking like 80% registering, 80% who take to the therapy. More than 70% of folks go into remission. Check it out at neurojust.com. You know, I still haven't had anyone complain about the spot yet. I'm supposed to be like objective and not like. No. The Thrive EBR spot. I'm not supposed to endorse elections, and I will never endorse a candidate. But I don't know. It's one of those ones where I was going to talk about it very passionately every day. So why wouldn't I put my name on it too? But it kind of crosses a journalistic line for sure. But I'm not a journalist, so. Ooh. Scusi. .814 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. All right. Once a month, we get to get caught up with our ag commissioner. That would be Dr. Mike Strain, who is joining us. How are you, sir?
Man, I am doing great. We were talking a little bit early, a few minutes ago, that, yesterday my associate and I went down to Acme Oyster House for some certified Louisiana shrimp.
Okay.
Big old shrimp po' boy and shrimp salad. I tell you what, shrimp are in season right now, right?
Yeah.
And now is the time. Just wonderful seafood. And then, of course, as we look at crawfish season coming, right? All my farmers are telling me that we're going to have a strong, solid, and quite a bountiful crawfish season. More acres will probably be over 360,000 acres of farm crawfish plus the basin. And so we're very excited about that. The weather's been good. We've had adequate moisture. We've had a very good rice crop, and right now the temperatures are really, really, really great. And of course, I think that we're going to continue that way. We don't, see any, severe drought. It's a little dry now, but no severe drought. And hopefully we won't have those freezing temperatures. So the crawdaddies are coming too. So we are ready.
So are we talking about volume? We talk about size? We talk about price? What are we talking about here?
Everything. Okay. So volume, with 360,000 plus acres and good weather, so you have higher numbers, you have more acres, better growing conditions, larger crawfish. Okay. And you will probably see when we get into, that really the late January, February, March, I think you'll see those prices come down and stay in that probably at $2.34 a pound when it settles out. Right. And I think they'll be very plentiful. When you talk about aquaculture, Louisiana has more aquaculture than any other state in the union.
Oh, yeah.
Any other state. 250,000 acres of oysters and 360,000 acres of crawfish. Nobody even can come close to that.
So ridiculous.
It's a huge part, of our overall economy. And we got the finest seafood in the world.
Yes, we do. Yes. It's beyond compare. Now, let's talk for just a minute about why it's big news that we are getting these reports about the next crawfish season, because you have to rewind the clock back by 2 years.
Oh, 2023 was that was a hard year. You
had the
drought,
droughts,
we had
you
the
fires,
wildfires,
right?
And it was so dry. 100,000 acres of crawfish ponds dried up.
Yeah,
and it's not that not only the pond dried up, it dried up 18 inches to 24 inches below the surface.
That's insane.
So the crawfish normally go down into the holes,
right? And
they can be down there, when we drain those fields. That's where they're at. They're in and around the banks. They're underground, so we're very careful not to disturb them. But they died. They just died because there was no water. And we began pumping water, especially in, southwest Louisiana. We were pumping water. We ran out of fresh water. Then we ran out of brackish water. We just ran out of water from that aquifer. And so, everything's been recharging, so that is good. And that drought was, that's one of the three probably major droughts in Louisiana in more than 100 years. There was a 1924, 1942, and then 2023. And that's we had those massive fires. And if you look at, the fires in the 1920s, 5 million acres burned, 5 million.
That's
if you look in the 40s, it was 2 million. And if you're looking at 2023, about 63,000 acres. We held it to 63,000 acres. Of course, we had one fire that was like 35 to 36,000 acres. One fire.
Is that the one in
that's
Cassash?
Tiger Island.
Oh, Tiger Island.
Tiger Island. Yes, those things you'll never forget, right? When you're looking at on one day we had 50 miles of fire lines.
That's insane.
50 miles of fire lines we're fighting.
And when you talk about, and you were just talking about how there was a lack of water to
that
farm
was another
the crawfish.
issue. There was no water.
The same lack of water to fight fire.
That's right. And so one of the things, we were dropping water, and we had to. They were literally sucking water out of swimming pools anywhere we could get it.
Right.
And then making runs all the way to the river with those helicopters. And then we went in Toledo Bend. Thank goodness, the scooper planes. If you ever watch those, I don't think I'd want to be a pilot or co-pilot on that because they land, they never stop.
Right.
And they scoop that water up, and then they come up, and then they drop it on the fire. And, that takes some courage. And they're coming in low.
Yes.
And then those great big, the very large planes that are dropping those retardants, they're working by instruments because they've got it tilted. They can't really see right under them, and they're coming in right above the tree line, putting those retardants out, and that's an amazing thing. You don't want to get too close because you'll be sprayed red.
Well, I would imagine so.
Yeah,
How much goes into when you talk about the retardants and putting out the fire with anything that isn't water? And I'm gonna bring this back around to a story that's going on right now. How much of that is like weighed, calculated?
Everything.
Everything's
Everything's
it's
calculated.
safe for the environment after the fact.
Everything
Okay.
is calculated. There's a specific compound we use. Initially they would have to go all the way back to Abilene to reload those planes. Then we set up a facility there in Alexandria, and there's only a handful of those planes.
Mm-hmm.
And we were very fortunate when we had those huge fires. The other parts of the United States did not, so we were able to get those. And so when you start looking at that very large plane, every time it drops is $30,000 to $40,000 per drop.
That's insane.
That's what it costs. But and the retardant there, that's to stop the progression of the fire.
Right.
So everything is orchestrated, and so the way that works, you got spotters, but then you have airplane above them, aircraft in the air. Everything is directed. So it's almost like a ballet the way all this works. And those planes come in, and they're working with us on the ground with our ground crews.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's working as a team. And so, as we say, we would gain ground by day and hold by night because you don't have aircraft at night. You don't have helicopters at night. You don't have the big tankers at night.
Because you can't be low enough to be effective
You
because
can't
you don't know
see.
how low. Right.
You can't see.
Right,
There's
right.
too many obstructions because you're down in that area where you got to fly by sight because you're
No,
looking
understood.
for towers and trees and other planes. And then so we would hold the line at night and then really push back, during the day. And at one time we had 1,000 firefighters involved in these fires. So it was a very big deal. And of course, that's why we tell everybody, be careful. Be careful when you're out there, those matches, because we've seen some fires in the last couple of weeks. So far to date, we've had 507 fires. In a busy year, I'll have 2,400 fires. We've been averaging now between 600 and 1,200 fires per year. But in the last week, we've had about 50 fires.
50 fires. Okay, 50 fires in the last week. What kind of scale are we putting on that? What kind of acreage and where are they?
So really, if you look at it, it's only they're averaging 5 to 7. In the last few days, under 8 acres. We've had a lot of them in 2 different areas. One in the DeRidder area where we continuously had fires. Now we had one arsonist there that was arrested, responsible for 10 fires.
Really?
Right. And so now that person has a $70,000 bond, and that will be, and of course we are aggressive in those arsons. Then we had a number in the Florida parishes, and most of those, they were accidental. They were from lighting trash piles. It's beautiful weather. Everybody's out there cleaning up. but you've got to stay with your trash pile. If you light that fire,
Yeah.
you got to be out there with a water hose and a rake. Don't light it, then go back inside, right?
Right.
And get an iced tea or whatever you're drinking, or don't leave. Don't go down to the store. Stay there till it is done, and then put it out, because what happens is that it'll start to catch the grass on fire if you didn't clear around it.
Yep.
And start creeping, and then all of a sudden it's out of control. And it can, and most of these fires were very close to structures, because again, they were as a result of people cleaning up. So everyone, please be careful, because once you light that match, you're not in control.
Right.
Right?
You
Fire's
think you
in
are.
control.
Yeah.
You think you are, but you're not. But again, stay with it in case it gets out of control, and you can put it out.
I asked you about the fire retardants and how the effects on the ecosystems and whatnot because of the fire about roughly 50 days ago, 47 days ago at Smitty's.
Oh yes.
And what we're learning in the wake of that is they had to use a lot of stuff,
A lot of foam.
right?
A lot of foam.
A
So
lot of forever chemicals.
Yes. Yeah, well, there were lots of chemicals involved, period.
Right.
Because, normally when you have a refinery, you got oil or gas, just a few things. There are many, many, many chemicals there at Smitty's, and they're all burning together now. So, but, working, very hard, they got that fire out. And then we've done testing, and private citizens have done testing. Our responsibility is look at the agricultural land around there, and we followed the plume. And of course, we sampled in a statistical manner, and the good news is we did not find any excessive levels of heavy metals in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing. Now, EPA, DEQ, they're doing water samples, and from various water samples, and then they will continue to monitor what's in the Tangipahoa River.
And the Tangipahoa River is the X factor here.
That's the X factor. But so they are doing testing above where the water from Smitty's went into the river, and they're testing below, and then they will do long-term testing in where we had the visible contamination, but also trying to suck that oil off the top, so that as well, and trying to contain it. They're also going to be doing in the long-term goal, they will be doing fish testing there and out of Lake Pontchartrain, as well as looking at wildlife testing in that region. So looking at, because you got to look at long-term accumulation, if anything's there.
And that's going to bring up so many more questions, because while the fire was going, what goes up has to come down. So whatever went into the air.
What happened is that you got this fire, and all of a sudden you had a thunderstorm, and a thunderstorm blew right down on top of the fire, and it put massive rain and wind, and it created this kind of a plume, and instead of the fire burning up and burning everything as it went up, the rain and the wind blew the smoke back down, and the water went through that, and that's how you got that black rain that went through there, and it kind of pushed it really north by east. So we followed. So another thing we have done is follow the wind shear and the wind plume and the rain plume to see where those where the soot and the oil went. Mm-hmm. And so, but I think in a long term, on the lands, especially those that are not right next to Smitty's, I think we're going to be fine, because we've done quite a bit of testing. So, and we've tested the soil. We test the top 8 inches.
Right.
We've done quite a bit of soil testing. So that's good, because the main thing is we're looking for heavy metals, lead, arsenic, chromium, barium, those sorts of things, and it's been within acceptable limits.
We got Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain in with us. He joins us once a month to bring us up to speed on everything in the ag world. And yes, it is Fire Prevention Week, and yes, we were talking about that a little bit. And to hear that 50 fires, I mean, while it's way down from what 2023 was, it's still an alarming number.
Oh, it's an alarming number. And so if you look at, in some days we've had as many as 20 to 30 fires in a single day across the state. So you have to look at the size and the complexity of our firefighting system. Mm-hmm. Our dispatchers, and we have the ability. We know where every unit is, live time. They are all tracked. They're all GPSed, and we coordinate everything. And so what I have in my dozer fleet, I have about 120 650 size dozers and transports. We've gotten 30 new ones in because the other ones were almost 20 years old, and we are replacing the whole fleet. And then we have some 750s, which are pretty big units, and then we have the water trucks and the foam trucks, and those foam trucks are mainly there. They're there when we're on site in these heavy fires in case one of those dozers catches on fire to put it out.
Right.
And what we're trying to obtain is more water trucks, because what we found in the big fires, even after you have it under containment, until you have it out, O-U-T, right? Those water trucks where you have tankers that can go into that wildland area and you put out the hot spots, because they can reunite. They can reunite 3 weeks later, right? Or they will burn down. Think about a stump. Think about
me. I don't.
Think about a stump the size of this table. It burns down. Then it burns the roots.
Which go outward.
And then we've had them burn under the fire lines and pop up.
And we've seen this in St. Bernard Parish a lot.
That's right. If you think about Lake Bistineau when it caught on fire,
Yep.
right? You would see bubbles in the water when we flooded it back, right?
Right.
And then you might go 3 or 4 weeks, and all of a sudden it pops out under a camp, right? It pops out because you have those peat layers to fight. So it's very complex, the firefighting system, but I could tell you the men and women, and we work together, with the fire marshal's office. They're responsible, and the normal fire services that are responsible for structural fires. We're responsible for everything other than structural fires, but we lead to give assistance to that.
We got about a minute before break. So if I want to squeeze this into 1 minute so we can move on to other topics when we come back. Going back to the 2023 drought and the fires and everything, how is the logging in it? Because I know the logging industry took a hit. How's it recovered?
We lost about 65,000 acres total, but that's out of 15 million acres. But in those particular areas, it wiped out entire sections of land. Now, where that big fire was at Tiger Island, that land has since been sold to another company. It was an out-of-state company that owned it. Another company has bought it, and so that land is going to have to be rehabilitated. Now, there was one timber crew that tried to go in and harvest that timber, and what happened is that they got on top of one of those hot spots and lost some equipment. Some heavy equipment caught on fire, and this is like a couple of weeks after the fire,
right.
But there was still some things smoldering, and so it does have a negative effect. But again, the biggest negative effect, in addition to fire, is a massive hurricane. If you look what the hurricanes, Katrina, Rita, Gustav and Ike went down and just destroyed timber in the Florida Parish. Destroyed entire plantations.
Oh yeah,
timber.
And West Louisiana with 2020.
And so after a fire or after a hurricane, that timber is non-functional.
All right, that's where we're gonna have to push pause. He is Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. Come back right after news, traffic, and weather on Talk 107.3.
See what happens to a hurricane? It cracks the timber, and you can't use it for lumber.
Why not?
Because it's got cracks in it. So when they use it for lumber, they saw it, so it breaks. Once you saw it, that lumber. Think about it. You take a 2x4, right? Take a 2x4. If you had a machine that would do this, would twist it back and forth. It's worthless. Right? Now, you could chip it, but you got to get it pretty quickly. You got to chip it pretty quickly. The other thing, once it's down on the ground, it gets a fungus in it and it stains it, and people won't buy the lumber.
And that fungus stays with it and stays. It's unhealthy to put it back in front of people.
Not really. No.
Okay.
No, it stains. It stains the lumber. It's blue, but you've got a short window to use that lumber.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, though, those mills can only take so much, right?
Right.
So this massive amount of, for instance, in the Florida parishes after Katrina, 30 years worth of timber, 30 years worth was on the ground. Well, you can't process 30 years worth. You just can't do it, right? And so they stack it up, these mountains of timber, and they put water on it. The water stops the fungus from growing.
Interesting.
Yeah, you ever see those stacks of logs and they've got water spraying on it?
Yeah.
That's pine. What else they would do, they would sink them underwater. And if you ever go to the Southern Forest Heritage Museum, and that's where they got the lumber for the Higgins boats. There's a lake out there. They would harvest the timber. This facility was so big, it's got its own railroad in the forest. They would harvest.
Where is
this? The Southern Forest Heritage Museum, and that is Longleaf, Louisiana. I think that's where it's at. and it's preserved. Southern Forest Heritage Museum. That's right. Here we go.
Louisiana.
Yeah, you need to see that. And you see, you can, if you look at it,
I
you
see
can
that lake.
you see the lake, you see the old,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yep. You need to look at that. It's incredible, everything that's there. They got an old CC camp there, and of course you can see the old train is still there, and it's pretty incredible. And the mill, a lot of the mill is still there, and it ran
Where
off
in the
of
hell
steam.
is this? I can't back out far enough.
Where's Longleaf, Louisiana?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Oh hell. Okay. We're talking.
North Louisiana.
Well, no,
Longleaf.
it's central. It's
Yeah.
just southwest of Alexandria.
Yep.
Which is north of you and me, but.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right.
Yeah, and so it's an incredible thing to think about the size and the scope. It had to have its own railroad to harvest the timber, and then it brought it in, and this mill made the lumber that was used in World War II, and it was all steam powered. Everything, steam powered. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's huge too.
It is huge. Yeah, a lot of. That's how we industrially geared up to fight the war. Yeah. Oh, Higgins, he was something. They say that Higgins and the old Martin Marietta facility was also involved in the Manhattan Project.
Really?
Release document. They never said what part they played there, but they were involved in the Manhattan Project.
Interesting.
Yeah. He was quite a character. My grandfather was his personal mechanic, Mr. Higgins. Hard drinking, hard playing. So they brought back a German staff car, one of those six-wheel staff cars, and they must have snuck it in because they had to hide it. So they hid it at my grandfather's house. Yeah, for many years. Yeah, in New Orleans, right, in Lakeview. Because my mom and aunt would go play in it. It was one of those big German Mercedes, Yeah.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Now where it's at, who knows? Someone has it in their garage.
Okay.
Probably one of his descendants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Lakeview, though.
Yeah, it was on Katina Street. That's where they lived.
Katina Street in Lakeview.
Katina. I think it's Catina. It's right next to the canal, right next to the 17th Street Canal. Catina, Katina Street. Yep. It's where my mother's family all lived, right there on Katina Street.
So just east of Pontchartrain Boulevard or West End Boulevard.
Uh-huh.
All right. My cousin used to live on Bel Air, which is that first street along the 17th Street Canal.
Mm-hmm. And the house is still there. The little house on Katina Street is still there.
It went underwater pretty good with Katrina.
It was elevated. It was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was elevated. It was. But the canal is very close.
What, 17th Street?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
837 Talk 173 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, getting back to Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain in exactly 60 seconds, which is enough time to tell y'all about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Look, home game this weekend, right? South Carolina coming to town. Next weekend, the Tigers are on the road. If you want to make a trip to Nashville to go see the Tigers play, they have a direct flight at flybtr.com set up specifically for the game. Earlier kickoff, no problem. I believe the flight heads out on Friday, comes back home on Sunday. Check out all the details at flybtr.com. If you're skipping the Vanderbilt game, don't need to fly to Nashville, but you want to go to the Alabama game, they've got you set up for a direct flight there into Birmingham. Or maybe you want to fast forward to the end of the season to go see the Tigers play the Sooners at Oklahoma, direct flight into Oklahoma City. They've got you covered over at flybtr.com. All right. Back at it with Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. We got a lot going on.
A lot going on. I've got a hearing at 9:30.
About what?
Chronic wasting disease. So there's a hearing at the Capitol, and I'll be testifying at 9:30. There's a CWD task force. I've been dealing with pen-raised deer since the inception of the program back in '95 as a private veterinarian and as the chief regulator of pen-raised deer. So we're working with wildlife and fisheries. So we'll be testifying today about the pen-raised deer, and there are more than 300 deer farms in Louisiana, and they are managed by the Department of Ag and Forestry. Right. And some of the exciting things with CWD is now the program where we're looking to genetically select deer sires that are resistant. And one of the things that's what we did with a disease called scrapie in sheep is we bred it out of them.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of work being done at Texas A&M, and we have some federal funds, and we're working. We hope to test 75% of the major deer sires on these farms, on these breeding farms, and breed total resistance to the disease into the captive deer industry. And that's a very exciting thing. The other thing we continue to work on, but it's very difficult, is to develop a vaccine. Because the disease is transmitted by a protein subunit. It's not a virus. It's not a bacteria. It's not alive. Right. And it can live almost indefinitely on things. So we don't know how long, but what happens is that the animals or people, whatever prion disease it is now, it's not transmissible from deer to people, but they ingest this protein. The protein goes through the tonsil, and over a period of time, it works its way into the brain. And so when that abnormal protein touches a normal protein, it converts the normal protein into an abnormal protein. It's a whole different theory of disease, and we're looking at it, now. But the deer we're really studying this intensely as we have with scrapie. So we'll be talking about that a lot today.
How big a business is this with deer farms in Louisiana? Because
hundreds of millions
we have
of dollars.
Tons of hunters out there, but they're not.
Hundreds of millions of dollars is what you look at the value of the wild deer industry. I would say that's probably in the billions of dollars.
Oh, almost certainly. But I'm talking about from the farm deer standpoint.
Right. So from the farm deer, I would say in excess of $100 million. It's a big industry. Okay. It's a lot of investment. And again, the real exciting thing is that we are developing bloodlines of these animals that are resistant to the disease. In some states, they have bred animals to become resistant and then turning those bucks into the wild so that they can then pass those genetics on. And because if you look at what will happen in the wild, either one, by normal genetic selection over a period of time, but it's a long period of time, they will develop resistance to this disease, or the disease will take out the species.
Right.
So, but I think what you're seeing, if we look at some recent data coming out, especially in the northern states that have had this in a while for a long time, the deer populations are now increasing because I think you've had some inherent development of the resistant genes in the surviving deer.
So one of the reasons I was asking the follow-up on that is because when we have chronic wasting disease among Louisiana deer, it makes it very, very difficult to make that a usable product.
Yeah.
And
so first rule, Never slaughter or eat any sick animal. I don't care what it is, period. So we look at your healthy animals that are in the surveillance zones, right? Then what happens is that, you can harvest the meat, but you have to leave the neural tissue there. There are certain ways you have to do that. And so, with our deer pens, we have no active live cases of CWD in pen raised deer. We had one case that started in Jeff Davis Parish. All of those deer have been eliminated. We traced forward. All those positives were eliminated, and now we have a number of pens under strict quarantine. But we will continue to test them for a period of 5 years. But we do follow that there is a USDA CWD certification program that we are involved in, and those deer farmers are involved in, and it combines testing. The other thing that is being developed is now a way to test these deer while they are still alive.
Okay.
Versus before you had to take a brain tissue sample.
Right.
Now we are taking samples from their tonsils, right?
Okay.
And we're doing rectal biopsies of lymphatic tissue.
Okay.
And if you do, it's very statistical relevance, looking for those prions. And so we're working on that. We do not have a accurate blood test yet. We're looking to see if that can be developed. But again, it's a whole new world looking at these prion type diseases.
Well, and the reason I ask is because we had a Foodie Friday.
Yes.
Guys, this is a while ago, right? This company that makes deer burritos. And they're phenomenal.
And they're good. They're incredible.
And it's a lean protein.
It is.
And they're very flavorful. I was going to mix it with a little bit of pork there. But, it's a lean protein. You get more protein. There's more packed to the punch from a protein perspective. And it's better for you overall. Now, they unfortunately can't use Louisiana deer for their deer burritos because of chronic wasting disease.
Why is that? They can't. They could harvest from the pen raised deer because that is livestock. They could harvest and slaughter and have those processed. They have to be processed. If they're going to sell that product, it must be processed at a state or federally inspected facility. So if it's going to cross state lines, it's got to be processed at a federal facility. It's going to remain within the state at a state facility. But it's not. There are plenty of deer that now you can't go and harvest wild deer and then sell the meat. You cannot do that.
Right.
Period. Any state you can't do that. But you can get the deer meat from pens, but they have to have the availability of a facility that will process them either. So crossing state lines, federal, within the state. And there are facilities, but they're very limited that will do that because most of those facilities stick with what's called the amenable proteins, which means beef and pork.
Yeah.
But there is the availability of that. There are a couple of facilities that will do that.
Well, and at the end of the day, though, I mean, I'm always going to revert back to beef just because of the flavor.
Right. But our deer population is safe.
Okay.
We're working very hard, and there are certain areas in the state where CWD has been found in the wild, and currently it does not exist, and we're continuing to look for it in the pen raised. But there are the vast majority. I think we have a total of 16 pens were under surveillance, and there were only like 6 that were quarantined. But all the rest of them are they're fine, and you can buy the meat there. But I will tell you that these deer are more valuable. The breeding pens sell them, and they go into these hunt pens where they are
hunt pens.
Hunt pens, right? People hunt these deer, right?
In a pen.
Yes, in a pen.
Okay.
In a pen. Well, they're very large pens. They have to be very large. They have to be at least 300 acres, and it has to be, they have to be wooded and that sort of thing. But these are these big trophy deer. I mean, they are just magnificent.
That's
right?
awesome.
So when you start talking about selling deer just for meat, that would probably be the cull deer.
Okay. So you're hearing us talk about what with the deer overall? Sorry, we got sidetracked there.
So right now, but we have a strong, solid deer industry, and our wild deer, they're safe.
Are we talking about how to grow it or grow the industry, or are we talking about how to just remind folks that they are safe?
Both.
Okay.
The deer industry continues to grow, and again, if you look at in the wild deer, and that is a huge part of the economy. Look at again the captive industry. You go to the lodge, so that's a whole lodge experience, and generally, they will take you out. You may do bird hunting one day and deer hunting the next and fishing the next.
Okay.
Right. So the same sort of experience you would have gotten by going to Argentina or Mexico, for those lodge type hunts you can get here in Louisiana. They're very nice, right? And it's safe here. That's a big deal.
Very big deal.
That is a big deal.
We got Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain with us. We got 2 minutes till we take a break. We got one more segment to go on the back end of the break. Do want to ask you about the harvest. I mean, it is about that time. What are we looking at?
We're doing very, very well. Right now, the soybean harvest is, as of today, about 75% complete. All the corn is in, and so that is good. It's going really, really rapidly. Looking at, we're harvesting the cotton. The dry conditions have been good. So, and rice is good. So what happened? Harvest came in kind of all at once.
Okay.
Right? Which you're really, there's a limited number of trucks and they can only load and unload those elevators so fast, but it's rolling. But one of the issues is that the Mississippi River is low.
Yes.
Above Louisiana.
Yep.
So we normally harvest a few weeks ahead of the Midwest. So now the issue is that how does the Midwest get their grains down to these are our export ports, right?
Okay.
So more than 65% of all the grain exported in the United States comes down the Mississippi River, and they will blend that in with our products. So harvest is great, and I think we're probably going to have to be selling more of our products into those overseas markets because they can't get the Midwest here fast enough to fill those orders. So everything is in motion, and I saw a ship yesterday going down the Mississippi River. She was, when I say loaded to the scuppers, right? It was a massive grain ship. She was coming down, and I swear, it looked like she was tilted in the front. And she was, I'm telling you, loaded to the gills. And that's grain going to the world.
I'll take
Absolutely.
it. Keep it moving. Absolutely.
Oh, they keep moving.
I do want to ask you about the river when we come back. And also, we got to spend at least a second talking about Louisiana pumpkins.
Yes,
but
I'll be at Landry Vineyards. Landry Vineyards on Saturday for the Lucille Ball lookalike contest, the Grape Stomp, the annual Grape Stomp at Landry.
Lord.
Oh no, have you ever seen that? You talk about
the episode of I Love Lucy.
That's right, and it's recreated, and it's a contest, and these ladies dress like Lucy, and they stomp grapes.
Oh dear.
And it's how you say, and there's going to be a huge crowd.
Yeah, I would imagine so. We got Dr. Strain in for one more segment. Continuing next. Right now, it's 8:50.
Oh, they get wild because they're competing for
one.
one.
Up, JP. I sat too long today. Oh, leg day yesterday at the gym. It's killing me. So when the river is low, does that mean it just takes more barges to get things out because they can't go deeper?
Yes, and you got to look at the available. Yeah, they'll short load them.
Okay.
And I mean, and one of the things we found, it's gotten so low before that we could not load barges at the Port of Lake Providence. Couldn't get them out, and that's a big deal because you can't. There are not enough trucks to move the product, right?
Right.
So that's why we keep trying to emphasize and grow rail because the river, and really, if you look back in the last 5 years, it's become more unpredictable. If
it really has.
If you remember, they were actually dynamiting the bottom of the river, blowing the rocks out around Memphis so they could get those barges down. You think about around Memphis, the bottom of the river. We hear it's sand, it's rock up there.
Okay, but so you dynamite the bottom of the river, it's going to have the same amount of water in it.
But it'd be deeper in the channel.
But how? No,
the channel. You got a channel. It's the channel.
Okay.
So if you think about this river,
yeah.
This river, you got a levee, right?
Right.
You got an underwater levee too.
Right.
That levee goes, and then you have a shoal, and then you have the channel.
Right.
Right. And if you ever wonder when they're dredging the river, so why are they blowing that sand just right over there?
Yeah.
They're putting it up on the shoal.
Right.
You can't remove the shoal, or the levee will fall into the river.
Right.
You understand? So you got the levee.
It's almost like a natural bulkhead.
Yes. Now, when you get down to the mouth of the river where we don't have levees, then they'll take that sediment and blow it out in the marsh. Yeah. The Army Corps. Yeah. Eat your bananas.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
My son stays on me about that.
Yep.
Try to explain to them, son, there's nothing I can do about getting old.
They'll understand when they get old.
Right.
Right? Until then,
Yeah, one day my son will be,
yeah.
28 and be like, oh, that's what.
Oh my God. Wait, it hurts. I said, so what hurts, son? Everything hurts. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep.
A couple weeks I sneezed and threw my back out. I sneezed and threw my back out. That was. I'm a landmark and Breck a spot for tomorrow. Hello? Oh, hey, how's it going? No, well, I'm live right now. I'm on the air for 5 more minutes. Will do. Bye.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a great crawfish season if everything holds. Got to hold.
Well, and our problem is our prices could be better if we didn't all rush to the front of the line.
But that's the nature of the crawfish. Everybody right now are waiting, right? And so you get into December and January where they're not quite ready, but they might be ready a little early if we don't have a freeze. Right? And we start off, we'll pay anything. Right?
That's the point.
We're paying. I mean, like pay
That's
anything.
the point.
It doesn't matter. I said, I got to have crawfish.
No, see,
right, and
you
then
hear the scene in Braveheart? The scene in
yeah,
hold. We don't hold.
We don't hold. No, we don't. We don't. And then when you get past Easter, right? When when you can get them for $2.30 a pound, right?
Boiled.
Yeah. Boiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But everybody says, oh no. That's the thing, and it is amazing. Our crawfish mindset, right?
Oh,
we need to redevelop that for Louisiana shrimp, though. You think about that.
Is there a shrimp season?
Yes, there are multiple seasons, and right now they're the inland season, right?
Okay.
The brown shrimp, right? And they are nice. They are nice right now.
8:56 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got 3.5 minutes with Head Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. I did want to talk about pumpkins, but you got me redirected back to crawfish during the break and shrimp during the break. And, just the level of confidence, the level of enthusiasm for this upcoming crawfish season is awesome.
Of all the questions I get asked on a weekly basis, there are more questions about when are the crawfish, are they going to be really great this year, and when can I buy the first sack, right? So right now we're in anticipation.
I know, and that's the frustrating part, Dr. Strain, is that crawfish prices, market drives this whole thing.
Absolutely.
This is a great example of free market economics,
Absolutely, right.
And the fact of the matter is, we as Louisianans,
Right.
We have no control
Because
over
we want them
ourselves.
so really
we
bad.
Want that
I
instant
want my 5
gratification.
pounds of
Yes.
crawfish boiled,
Yes.
and I want them now.
No,
so
if
wait,
people-
but it's September. It's October. So wait, yeah, it's not. May.
January,
I
yeah.
want them January. So we'll get a few teasers.
Mhm.
Now you can buy from like Riceland Crawfish those flash steamed crawfish, in 3-pound bags
Right.
that you can go ahead if you want them for tailgating. But you and I, we want to see them. We're waiting for those live crawfish.
Right.
And so, and you'll see those early prices, which will be, how you say, like, yeah. So really nice for the farmers, but and so which
it's awesome
which
for
is
the
good. And it's
farmers.
awesome for farmers because again, it helps them to get a little cash in to start harvesting. But when we get down, to where they are $2.50, $2.75 a pound, or $4 a pound boiled, we get into crawfish season, right? I mean, we are eating, but the one of the problems is those Texicans. Those Texas people, Texicans,
Yeah.
they've been eating a lot of our crawfish, right? Yeah, so,
and they're celebrating it on social media, too.
Oh, yeah.
And they're
So-
acting like it belongs to them.
Yeah, so as
It's
we say,
really
we
pompous.
eat all we can, and then we'll sell the rest, right? And then now you got the East Coast. The East Coast loves our crawfish and our crabs, and our shrimp.
I'll
and,
trade
and
heads
our
up for lobster rolls.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
That's the thing.
But so
But-
but we've developed and strengthened this crawfish culture, and that's
And-
a big deal.
And to me, so if you complain about crawfish prices, you have to look in the mirror and say you're the problem. Because
But
we
that's
all,
okay. But look,
no,
we're
it's
on the
great for
farm. It's
farmers.
great
I know,
for the
I know,
farmers.
it's great for the farmers. But you have to look in the mirror and say, I have no self-control, therefore they
That's
can charge
a good
me what
thing.
they want.
It's and again, it's supply and demand.
And
It's
100%.
market driven.
It's a great
but
example
on
of
the
it.
other side, the crawfish industry will eclipse $300 million this year. $300 million.
I love it.
And now I'm talking about at the farm level.
Right.
But the entire shrimp industry is at $38 to $40 million. We have to fix
We
that.
got to do better.
We got to do better. We got to eat more shrimp, right? That's why I said, look, that's why I went to Acme and said, I got to have that shrimp po' boy.
I'm one of those
yesterday,
rare ones
right?
that if you give me my choice between boiled shrimp and boiled crawfish, I'm taking shrimp.
I know. I'll have to have one day and one the next, right?
well-
that's right. And then wait, and don't forget, we got some magnificent. When's the last time you had a crab boil? He took a hamper of crabs. Oh
wow.
my goodness, because that's a stay a while.
Yeah. All
Right?
right. We got to get out of here. He's Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. Always appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
We are all done. Moon Griffon is up next. We'll be back at it tomorrow. So, I can't tell you the last time I had a good crab. No, I can.
No.
I can tell you exactly. It has been years.
Right.
Last time I had a good crab
Right.
boil, I had Gulf of Mexico crabs. We were in Grand Isle, and we just put the trap out there, put the rebar in the ground, come back 3 hours later, and we had enough to feed 12 of us.
That's right.
And I mean, when I say 12
in
of us,
Grand
I mean, we're
Isle.
talking a good 2-3 crabs apiece.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
like growing
Yeah.
up, Dr. Strain was such a staple. My dad had a boat. We
Well, that
had
was the
traps
thing.
all along the causeway.
My grandfather, when he retired from the state police, became a commercial crabber.
Yeah, that's my dream, man. I would love for that to be my retirement. Just up and down Lake Pontchartrain. You see them little styrofoam balls? That's not trash. There's traps underneath there.
That's right.
And my dad and I, yes,
Right, the old white Clorox bottles.
we had the styrofoam balls, and we would spend early Saturday morning. Early Saturday morning, we'd be putting old pieces of chicken in the crab traps, and we'd run them out there on Saturday, and we'd come back on Sunday, and they'd be full. And they had a market in Mandeville, which is long since gone because all the causeway
That's right.
approaches.
That's
they had a
right.
market in Mandeville not far from the causeway where we would go sell a whole bunch. We'd take enough out for us to boil that night.
That's
We
right.
would sell a whole bunch, and then we'd go over to Rips and watch the Saints game.
And then my grandfather, we was kids, he called them spider sandwiches, soft shell crabs.
You give me a soft shell
on
crab, I'm in
thick
heaven.
toast.
I don't know why that
We didn't
flavor's
know that
different.
Everybody didn't have that.
Oh, shoot, we
Right?
did growing up. I mean, I grew up on a bayou. So.
The
All right,
best.
Y'all behave.
You too.
All right,
A little
you
bit.
too. Have a good one.
Now you can go to that hearing for me today.
I would love to.
For all those legislators.
I know absolutely nothing about chronic wasting disease, but neither do they, so I guess, yeah, just talk out of my ass.
All right, have a good one.
Later,
Yes,
Doc.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Be good.
You
Yes,
too.
sir.
All right, we got to get out of here, y'all. Tomorrow, I'm in for 2 hours tomorrow, and then Cade Wassan's going to take over for that third hour.
Nice.
I can tell you, well, F you too then.
What? No, I just mean
I
that's
say I'm leaving, and you're like, awesome.
awesome. Oh my gosh, do you
Brian's
have to
going
stay
to leave.
2 hours?
That's so good. It's be
That's
great to
not-
not have you here for an hour.
That's not what I
Whatever,
meant.
Dick.
Just saying. it's That's a good guest host.
You with the like.
Kate's a great guest.
No, Kate is awesome.
I didn't mean it like.
Kate is awesome, but like, you've been all week long. You've been putting your foot in your mouth.
I have not.
You literally this week. You literally said, "Do you think Diddy's going to get off?"
Oh, okay. That was an accident.
Oh, I know.
It's not even trying.
It's
like he already did.
Back to the matter at hand. Okay, I'm in for 2 hours tomorrow. We've got Kathy Seiden running for Senate, and we've got Mayor President Sid Edwards, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think Hiller might be pinch hitting for him tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how that's going to look. But we're going to be talking about Thrive EBR.
So no Foodie Friday?
No Foodie Friday.
Well, I'm so bummed. I wish you were here.
Whatever, that's what you get, man. You run me out. No soup for you.
No soup.
All right, Foodie Friday will be back the following week. I think we have cheesecake coming in.
What?
Is there a cheesecake lab? Does that sound right?
Say no more.
And then the following week is the Bullfish Bistro.
They're coming?
Yeah. And then the following week, I'm trying to hook it up to where we don't have anybody on Halloween right now. And then we've got Chicken Shack on November 7th.
Ooh, Chicken Shack.
And I'm trying to get Chris's Specialty Foods in sometime before Thanksgiving, but they can't do on Halloween Day. So I'm trying to get Chicken Shack to move up and see if we can't swap that. Because if we could swap that out and get both of them, that means turducken.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Chicken Shack is it, man.
We're working hard. Anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow.